was a California August in '82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest, you step in. We finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife. Right. People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the noobs online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by SCO. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. No. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I said my heart's wide open, goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and I am joined by Mr. Top Loaded Gamer. What's up?
What's up, dude?
So, how you been? I heard you went and seen Barbie today.
Oh yeah, that's totally what I would see. I haven't been to the movies in like 10 years because it's always crap out there. But yeah, I chose today to come back to the movies and go see Barbie.
You've been waiting for that great feminist icon to make a movie. That's what.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No,
I'm all about fourth wave feminism.
Oh yeah, everybody is. You gotta love when Barbie, a movie about a fictional toy come to life, is telling us about America being a patriarchy and how society would be perfect if only women were doctors, nurses, and not mothers and maids.
Yeah, I don't know. They should just keep their ass in the kitchen, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Barbie toys shouldn't even have shoes. That way the girls know to be barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up with that? No, in all reality, I want to see Oppenheimer. That's what I want to see.
Was it fantastic?
It was all right. I liked it. I mean, you know, much like Red Letter Media pointed out recently, it's like these studios are not giving anybody, you know, the freedom to like work on anything original whatsoever. So like the only fucking movies out there that have any semblance of being an actual movie is going to be around a historical figure. So, that was like one of the only movies I was looking forward to.
Was there like a lot of suspense about whether or not he would make the bomb? You're like, I don't know, is he going to make the bomb? Not sure.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it wasn't so much that, this is going to be an old reference, but have you ever seen Gung Ho?
Yeah. Oh, I love Gung Ho, the one with
Michael Keaton with the So I thought it was going to be something like that, everybody's going to rally around, making the the atom bomb and whatever.
Oh, it's going to be a lighthearted comedy about blowing up.
not literally that, but like something around there, like a drama kind of in the same vein. But it wasn't really, kind of wasn't like that, man. I don't know. I mean, they do some of that stuff. They show what went into it, but a lot of it is like, different people in the scene butting heads.
Right.
So Robert Downey Jr. had like a lot bigger of a part than I thought he would.
According to Sweet and Tender here in the chat, he says Hiroshima is not even in the movie. It's not even like, they should have been the end credits. I haven't seen it, but the end credits should have been like screaming people and like Oppenheimer, like, it's like 10 years later, it's like Oppenheimer really regretted the thing that he built because he killed a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
We got Tom Amico says the garden gnome who thinks he's intelligent.
Hell yeah. That's me, pseudo intelligence.
It's all right because I fill in with real intelligence. So we're all good. I have a nice balance, right?
Fuck yeah.
We got a lot to talk about today. We got so much on the docket. We got to talk about, of course, the Intellivision Amico because I can't get away from it. We got to talk about Ubisoft being Ubisoft, and apparently, if you don't sign into your Ubisoft account, they will just get rid of your games. They'll just delete your entire account because they're like, "Hey, you haven't been around for a while. Fuck you. Your games are gone."
Yeah, one thing, if you wouldn't mind, real quick. Let's see. I forgot who said it. Somebody said it. I think it was Sweet and Tender Hooligan, maybe. Said top loaded, yo, please revisit Amico, right? So just to let you guys know, like, I kind of defer to Tony on that. Like, Tony's really the journalist on that, like whenever I first, heard of Tommy, he like set me off because he was like, if you want to buy a game about rape, buy a Switch. And I really don't like censorship. I don't like people advocating for censorship. And it felt like he was kind of there. And that was kind of most of my interest in the whole thing. So, if there's other things to like revisit or whatever, like, it's not going to be me. Like, unless he goes back to stuff like that. I was really mostly passionate about the censorship part. So with everything else, I defer to Tony.
It's funny because 102 million plus people must really love rape games,
right?
As the Nintendo Switch is the top selling console of this generation. And almost, I think it's pretty much of all time so far, if I'm not mistaken. The rape game thing was outrageous. It was. And the funny part is, like, because I had, back and forth with Tommy about this in various platforms, comment section stuff. And the reality is, he wasn't entirely wrong, right? There are some games that are a little edgy, a little rapey, right?
No, definitely.
But I told him, like, Tommy, the way you're phrasing it is making people think of it of one thing, right? You're talking cheesy.
Yeah, like Satan's living in everybody's Switch is the way he was kind of.
I was like, you could be honest about it. You don't have to be hyperbolic. You don't have to be, this, oh my God, every game on the Switch is terrible. I'm like, they're not easy to come by. He was always mentioning this one game. He's like, well, this one adult only game was rated PG. or it was rated like teen and it shouldn't have been, and people bought it. I'm like, yeah, but that's not Switch's fault. That's not Nintendo's fault. That's the ESRB's fault, right? I was like,
Yeah.
if they mislabeled the game and it got onto the eShop and it wasn't supposed to, that's not Nintendo's issue.
Yeah, that's been on the ESRB since like what, the 90s. So
Yeah. But he's like, no, we're never going to have those games. I'm like, if the ESRB mislabeled the game that's adult and said it was T for T or E for everyone, and you put it on your store, I wouldn't blame you. I might be a little. I'd be like, maybe you should have checked it out.
But to me, it sounded more like he was like, put it out with, kill it with fire was his approach, and not, like, yeah, he was mostly concerned about it getting in the hands of kids, but it's like, parents should be kind of, in my opinion, parents should be kind of aware what their kids are up to if they don't want them seeing something they shouldn't be seeing. And it felt like he was like not respecting art and was just like, if it's something I disagree with, I don't want it there. And there definitely was like, I found a lot of his stuff he was talking about was kind of culture clash between, Japanese like import games and, but there was a one or two that, I seem to remember. I don't remember the exact name of them, but one of them had like a rape scene or something. But I think it was a girl that made it, and she was actually,
well, that one wasn't a rape scene. That was a the game discussed rape.
Right.
But there was no actual like scene of like, it wasn't, because he made it sound like you were the rapist, like you were playing as the rapist. Like
the only thing I remember was like the character sitting in a bathtub or something. Like she would have been, I don't know, reminiscing about what happened to her or something. I don't know. But from what the little bit of research I did, it was like someone that was SA'd, in real life. And
you could say it here. We
I'm playing these word games because I don't know the fucking etiquette here. So
the etiquette is just say it.
Because on my channel, I'd just be like, yeah, she got raped. So
we deal with it later. Don't worry about it.
All right, roger that. Got it. But yeah,
we've
anyway.
actually had, not to go on a side tangent, but we've actually had no problem using those words.
Me either
on YouTube.
But I'm not even.
When it comes to music, if I have an image that's like Warner Brothers for like half a second, I'll get flagged for that. I could talk about like sexual assault and rape and election rigging all I want, COVID, and just don't care.
Right. Yeah, that's been my experience too. The second I put on any kind of fucking music from Konami, Konami gets their fucking piece.
Yeah. And just to point this out, it's not Nintendo's fault, 56K warning. And here's the difference. Here's the difference between the Amico and Nintendo. If an adult-only game was mislabeled by the ESRB and got on Nintendo, I wouldn't blame Nintendo because so many games go on the thing that they really can't, check every single game, handpick every single game, right? It's like thousands of games on the eShop. So they have to trust ESRB to correctly rate the games. And they're like, if you meet, the teen rating, you go on the shop as teen, right? That as long as you fit their criteria. Whereas Amico was like hand picking every single game. So I would figure if there was a mistake, it would also be on Amico, right?
I haven't been on my Switch, like at least on the eShop, in a good while. Like I've played like the newest Zelda. Like I'm not slipping on games that I want to play, but being I don't really care for digital games. I don't really do too much with the shop, but the last I saw it seemed like it was turning into more of a Steam situation, where
it is
like anyone can just like say, hey, here's this game that I made, and it's like fucking, Tony beating some drums in the corner over there, and it's a game. Is that not the way it is now?
I think they had one. It was like try not to get caught jerking off. That was the concept of the game. I forget what it was called. But because I remember, like, whenever something like that happens, it's always like a controversy. It was like you have to shake your Joy-Con up and down, but then when someone's looking, you have to stop.
Yeah, fucking gone are the days with the Nintendo seal. Not that every game was a killer with that seal, but
every game, not they didn't have a single miss. across the board. Nintendo's always great. I have a Switch, and I always say this: I have a Nintendo Switch. It sits there; it's right in front of my TV, and I never play it ever.
Oh, I play mine, but I'm not on the shop much.
Well, I got the PS5, so I just don't play it. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
even
as
bought a
soon
Pro controller that was all set. I'm like, yes, Nintendo Switch.
as I can get that, HD. What's the name of the new Zelda game? I can't even remember right now.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, as soon as I can get that on the PC, that's gonna be what's up. Because playing Breath of the Wild on the PC was pretty awesome.
I actually have Breath of the Wild on physical, and I've never played it.
Oh yeah, me too. I've beaten that game like 3 times on the PC and like 5 times on the Switch. So
I haven't even started it up.
I like
It's so
open world
ridiculous.
games.
Anyway, not to get derailed, but we also got to talk about, speaking of Nintendo, the Dolphin emulator. We got some updates on that situation as far as going on Steam or not. We got to
Right.
talk about Project Q. The leaks, are they real? Is this a real working, functional Steam Deck killer? Loot boxes in the UK are getting stomped down. And of course, it wasn't in the description, but I did see this last minute. I thought this was interesting. But Antstream is coming to the Xbox. It is the largest collection of classic retro games. It's like 1,400 games. And I think it's like a $30 price tag.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into whatever order you want in the docket or whatever, but that one kind of broke my mind for a little bit.
Steam Deck, yeah. I also have a Steam Deck, and I play it just slightly more than Nintendo Switch, which is to say, not much at all.
Yeah, I don't have a Steam Deck personally.
I bought all these. I don't know what I was thinking. I got swept up in the hype, I guess.
Right. It happens, man. You bought the Ouya as well?
No, I didn't. I actually, when it first came out, I'm
What was
not afraid to
the
admit
other
it.
one? What was the other one that everybody was calling the Ouya?
The Amico, the Ouya 2.
No, Stadia. That's the one I was talking about.
No, I didn't get
You got
Stadia.
the Stadia? No.
No, but I did because it didn't appeal to me, the Stadia. But I swear that the Ouya, when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? That actually sounded interesting. It was like $100. It was like you could play because there are actual good mobile games. I'm not gonna be one of those elitist say no, all mobile games are shit. There are some good mobile games, and I play mobile games sometimes, and I'm like, hey, that'd be nice if you could take your account and play it. You're playing on the bus, and you go home and you play a couple of levels or whatever. So I was like, yeah, this sounded interesting, and I just never got it. So
Mobile games is kind of how I got back into getting all my like systems back and all how I got into this whole retro thing. And I was downloading a bunch of shoot 'em up games on my iPad.
I'm not a retro gamer. I don't know how. I keep getting roped into this. Like Tony's a retro channel. Tony's a gamer, but I'm really not. I have a PS5. I play new games that come out, but everyone seems because I talked about the Amico, suddenly my channel was deemed a retro channel.
Well, I'm just an all around gamer, but I never stopped being that gamer. At one point I sold like, my Nintendo, Super Nintendo, my Sega, my Dreamcast, my Saturn. I got rid of everything that was old, and still continued to play current gen stuff. And it wasn't until about 2012 I started getting these games on the iPad and was like, they had a lot of good games back then. I think I want to have those. Instead of collecting all these comics, I'm going to start collecting these games. So that's what I did.
Yeah, fantastic. So, besides seeing Oppenheimer, how's your week been?
It's been all right, man. I got off Wednesday from work.
I was
7
hoping you were
days
gonna
off?
add a qualifier. Not that you just got off on Wednesday. I was like, well,
Just
it's
got
a
off
little personal,
in
but
2 different ways. But yeah, everything's going good, man. Life's looking up.
Fantastic. I have an issue at work.
What's
It's
that?
funny you speak of gung ho because we're having an issue where basically some company in Pakistan is offering our product at half price. And so there's a good chance that we're going to end up closed as the Pakistani company takes over our contracts, and I don't have a job no more.
No shit. So you're like almost literally in the gung ho situation. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I've been trying to rally the troops, get them to work a little bit harder. Come on, guys, stop fucking around because it's not really working. But
show them we have the honor of the Japanese.
it's funny because they fucking our bosses like in the middle of the week they just bought this giant. I swear to God, it's like a 40-foot American flag that they put inside the building. It's like hanging from the fucking ceiling, and that's how we found out. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, why'd you buy the American flag? What what's going on? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a company in Pakistan that wants to undercut us. So we're gonna have the CEOs and stuff of the company come through. And we want them to see the American flag, so they know they're getting an American-made product by Americans. I'm like, oh yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a really good idea, except for the fact that the company that owns us, they're Germans. I'm like, so I'm not sure that American pride is really a selling point for the German people. But, we'll see.
Won't see the flag, yeah.
Yeah. Another option, move to Pakistan and work. Yeah, I'll be they need, they always need one guy to go over to like oversee the operation. That'll be me.
Consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I tell them you're an expert with these machines, and I am, and they probably do. I hear their product is inferior. It's not as good as ours, but at half the price, I think it's a give or take type situation. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? If I'm out of a job, maybe I'll get a nice severance package. I'll be able to sit at home, actually work on YouTube content. We'll get some of those nice day streams again of me playing games. So who knows? Could be a win-win for everybody.
Well, I definitely wish you luck on that. That sucks.
And I just got some new boots, and they hurt my feet like a motherfucker. So I'm almost okay with us not having a job.
Oh,
because these boots.
If you see the fucking scammy YouTube videos, boots are supposed to hurt your feet, right? You ever seen that one? It's just a scammy shoe video by some shoe salesman. It's like, wear my shitty shoes because shoes are supposed to hurt. Like, every fucking ad is a scam on YouTube, dude. Anyway.
No, when you get those brand new work boots and like you got to break them in for a couple of days, so like they're a little bit tight. But look,
I wouldn't know. I never worked a day in my life. No. I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm saying we have some young people in the audience, so maybe some of them haven't worked a day in their life.
Right. No, I get it.
We got some females. There's like a 7% female audience here, so maybe they're used to like high heels. They don't understand work boots.
I had a big pair of fucking Doc Marten work boots I wore in the oil field, and it took like 3 years to break them in. Damn. It was crazy. I'm glad I don't have those anymore.
Tommy says, get Redbacks, Australian-made boots, good stuff. Well, here's the thing. One of my feet, one foot is a slightly wider than the other. Right? One's normal width, and the other one's slightly wider. So I can't get one boot wide and one boot normal. I have to either get normal or wide. If I get wide, then the one boot is too loose. If I get normal, then the one boot is too tight. So that's the situation I'm in. I have weird feet.
Yeah, well, at least you'd have been able to dodge the draft.
Nah, with my luck, they'll be like, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Tony's
the one on the front line.
Hell yeah. You have no idea, 56K. You have no idea. It's because you have webbed toes, because I'm a frog. It's hard to get those 3 toes into a boot. You know, it is what it is. But I think that's enough discussion about things that are not video games, because that's not what we're here
Right.
for, right? We're not here to talk about me and my weird feed and maybe losing my job to a bunch of Pakistanis. We're here to talk about video games.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's kick this off with a little Ubisoft tomfoolery. Talk about games with Froggy and a gnome. Yeah. It's not a gnome. How tall are you, Trevor?
5'7",
No,
unfortunately.
you might be a gnome.
Yeah, I'm a gnome.
Are you upset that your people were denied parts in the new Snow White movie?
I'm still talking to my congressman about that.
I know Hornswoggle from the WWE. Familiar with him? He was really pissed. He's like, fucking Peter Dinklage has now cost dwarves another job. I mean, let's face it, and not to go like off on a tangent or whatever, but honestly, you know, Wizard of Oz, Snow White, Willy Wonka, those are like shoo-ins, right? Like small actors must have been like rubbing their arms together, like, hell yeah, they're making a Snow White movie. 7 more parts for us, right? Like, and they're like, hey, by the way, we've hired normal sized people. Like Willy Wonka, the one with
to not be offensive. Like,
yeah,
I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, it's just like you know, people not hiring what they call these women that do the dancing. You know, everybody gets butthurt about hiring like cheerleaders or you know, Harley Davidson bike women, but then they get fucked out of jobs.
Yeah, they did that to the women at what was it, E3 and all that, with the booth babes. All the models were out of jobs. Finbar says little people, Tony. For fuck's sake, they're not small. They're dwarves. Dwarves is the name. They have dwarfism, right? That's the medical term. I'm little people. When I think of little people, I think of just like someone who's short. Like, oh, he's a little person. I would, you know, who's a little Peter Dinklage, dwarf, right? Vern Troyer, little person. I think that's a distinction for me, because I could probably pick up Vern. He's like a little, like teddy bear sized person, whereas Peter Dinklage is just a little extra short. Snow White should be played by the little lady from Total Recall. Is she still alive? Anyway, what I was saying. Yeah. So remember the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka movie?
Yeah. Never saw it, but yeah.
All the Oompa Loompas were played by one actor, and they used CGI to make them all the same. So they got screwed out of that movie too.
And he was like a normal guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call them dwarves to their faces once you bend all the way down there, of course. Yeah. When they stand on top, when they stack through on top of each other, I'll say it to their face. But what's stupid is, so Peter Dinklage, he's like, we don't want to be hired just for these stereotypical roles, right? We want to be hired for everything. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, right? That sounds reasonable. Until you start thinking about it. Do you want to see 3 foot tall James Bond? Like, he has to like get up.
Yeah,
on
like
the ladder.
he don't get me wrong. Peter Dinklage fits in a lot of different roles, you know, but how can I say this? Peter Dinklage is kind of like a diamond in the rough as far as his talent, you know? Like, I cannot remember a more charismatic little person actor ever. Can you?
No, I mean, there's only like 4 big ones, right?
Right. And I don't like, I feel like he's like an actual actor, whereas some of these, you know, others, and maybe I'm missing somebody that's like crucially important, but
The one from Seinfeld, the one that played Mickey.
Not a big Seinfeld fan. Never really watched it, so I'm not too familiar.
What about Warwick Davis?
Willow guy?
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I never really thought of him as charismatic actor.
Didn't Peter Dinklage get the role of Bolivar Trask? Yeah, he did. But there's certain characters, right? There's certain roles. Evil businessman. You could be a dwarf. It's fine, right? But do you really see, like, you're going to go see a romantic comedy and one lead is normal and then the other one is Peter Dinklage? Right? Like, he's supposed to, like, beat up the muscular jerk ex-boyfriend, right? You're like, oh, yeah, Peter Dinklage. You know, you're going to see James Bond or some, like, action movie. It's not going to happen, right? Could you imagine Terminator? Like, all of a sudden, the sky opens up and, like, naked Terminator shows up and it's, like, 3 foot tall
Yeah,
Peter
no,
Dinklage.
definitely not. I think he's gonna be he's mostly gonna be on the drama side or something like they did with him on Thor, you know. But
I thought that was so stupid. They had a dwarf actor and then they turned him into a giant.
yeah,
And I was like, but the people, like the race of Asgardians that he was, were dwarves. So so why did you turn him into a big? Like, it was stupid. Disney, they can recreate him with AI, it'd be fine. Yeah. It would be like the movie with Roxanne where he had the big nose. Hell yeah.
I just think he's asking for a lot. Like, you know, he's expecting everyone else like him to be just as talented as he is.
I don't think he is. I think he's just expecting for himself to get more roles and screw everybody else.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Because he knows he's the most talented, the most recognizable, right? It's like, you know, when they find that one person of a particular race, you know, it's like, oh shit, you know, we're gonna put Morgan Freeman in everything. We need a black guy, Morgan Freeman. Right? You need a Mexican guy, it's gonna be the guy from Stand and Deliver. What the hell's his name? James Olmos, right? Guaranteed.
Right.
Like, there's just certain people, like, and that's it. Like, you know, we need an Asian bad guy. It's the guy from Mortal Kombat. He's in everything, right?
Right. Yeah.
And Peter Dinklage knows that. He knows, like, oh, if I make a ruckus, and I become you need a smaller person, I get hired, and he's gonna get more roles. That's all it is. I think he's a little overrated myself.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's like, you know, fucking Edward Norton Jr. in his prime or anything. It's just compared to a lot of actors, not even little people, just actors in general, he's more charismatic than the average person. That's just, you know, my opinion.
I think if it wasn't for Game of Thrones, we wouldn't even be talking about him.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Enough of our little person hate. All those damn tallies making fun of us. This comes to us from Games Scout. You will now lose access to your Ubisoft games if your account has been inactive for too long.
Wow.
And I'm always the one going, hey, digital games aren't that bad, right? It's okay. And then, like, Ubisoft does some shit like this.
This is par for the course, man. This is what they do.
It says Ubisoft has found themselves in hot water as they're now permanently deleting accounts who are deemed to have been inactive for a while. Now, I love how vague that is. It's not like, you know, a set date, like, oh, you've been inactive for 3 years, we delete your account, right? It's like, we just deemed it inactive for a while. Like, whenever we get the bug up our ass, we'll just start deleting accounts. Fuck it.
Mine's probably long deleted then. Like, other than playing like Valhalla and only getting free items that you earn with points, they haven't seen shit on my account.
I think I got like one Ubisoft game that I played recently. You know what? It was the South Park games. I played both of those.
Oh, those are Ubisoft, huh?
So my account is up to date. It says it is unknown how long your account has to be inactive before Ubisoft take action, but you do have the chance to save your account from permanent closure. Twitter user at PC Enjoyer, it's a good thing he's not dyslexic, shared a screenshot of an email they received from Ubisoft. The email informs users that the inactive account has been temporarily suspended and they have 30 days to cancel its permanent closure. The official Ubisoft support Twitter account then responded with, "Hey there, we just wanted to chime in that you can avoid the account closure by logging into your account within the 30 days since receiving the email pictured and selecting the cancel account closure link contained in the email. We certainly do not want to lose your access to your games or your account, so if you have any difficulties logging in, then please create a support case with us." It is worth noting that many services delete inactive accounts after a certain time frame, partly due to data protection regulations. You buying that? You buying that? That's why they're doing it?
No, they want more money.
It is. I don't know how other people handle their accounts and they do their stuff, but sometimes I have like a throwaway email. I'm like, I don't want a bunch of emails from like Ubisoft. So I just use the throwaway email to like, oh, I have to log into an Ubisoft account. Well, fuck it, you're not getting my regular email, right? So people might have lost access to that.
Wait, hold on, what are they saying here?
they'll
They're
send you an email.
worried that there'll be data breaches and they don't want to
Yeah.
they don't want to lose more people, so the people that aren't inactive, they're just like, it's a needless risk for these people.
Yeah. Well, I guess there are
shit.
some regulations. What it is these services, you have the laws that are made for certain things, and then like video games come along, and it's like they sort of fall into this, like, oh, well, it's kind of the same thing. So you have to follow this law that was never intended for you logging into your video game account. So it says losing your Ubisoft purchases is something you definitely want to avoid. If you get an email warning you of the potential closure of your account, make sure you follow the instructions to cancel your account closure, or you're at risk of losing your games forever.
But to be clear, this is just like PC gamer stuff related, or what? I mean,
I'm assuming anyone who has an Ubisoft account. But I guess, like I said, they'll send you an email, and you got 30 days once you get it to be like, hey, no, I still want my account. Don't delete all my games.
I mean, I just personally, whether this is like, regulations or just Ubisoft being scummy, I just personally feel defeated on all this stuff. I feel like we already lost this whole digital physical war. I mean, to be fair, right off the top, like Nintendo, I mean, I got games on my shelf right here. Like Mike Tyson has like 5 different revisions, 5 or 6, something like that. We've always had revisions, but when a game would release, it would release mostly complete. You'd have like glitches in like the real good quote unquote AAA games of the day. They'd mostly be complete, and it would be like really hard glitches to trigger that like couldn't really be foreseen without these millions of hours collectively being played across the player base. And to their credit, they would revision it, but these days of getting day one patches, having a paperweight, and then it's still it's a purchase license agreement to where the game, even though you have the physical edition, it's still going to expire someday. I feel like we already lost.
I hear everything you say, and I agree with it, but also my counterpoint would be, what really realistically, what was like the biggest NES game, right? Was it like 10 megabytes? Like games nowadays are like 100 gigabytes and growing, right? For you to be like, just make it and make sure it's free of bugs or as best you can, and slap it on a disc and send it out. I don't think it's as cost effective. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, if we're talking about like a GTA game or something like that, but if we're talking about like Raiden 5 or something for the Switch that released physically, and it still has a day one patch, I mean, I don't feel like there's an excuse for that. Bloodstain, Ritual of the Night, I don't feel like there's an excuse for that.
That shit was overrated. I'll tell you what, that Bloodstain. Everyone was excited because the Castlevania guy was behind it.
I loved it personally. Now the graphics itself, I wish they would have went more pixelated, more like the PlayStation 1 era. Symphony of the Night was, but the game itself, the story, I loved it. I took the time to learn like the soundtrack on guitar. Like I fucking loved it.
I thought it was just meh. I haven't beat it yet. I only played
I put
like
200 hours into my first playthrough. I loved it.
I ain't got time like that. If I'm not in love with the game, I don't think I'm gonna put 200 hours into it. It's in my backlog with the other 458 games.
Yeah, to be fair to you, like you like work on Monday through Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like my whole life I've been working like a 7 and 7 weird ass schedule from the oil field. So like I have 7 whole days off to myself to do whatever the fuck I want. So I find, time multiple times a week. So but I definitely understand like working a Monday through Friday, I would never have time for shit.
Yeah. But speaking of not having time for shit, I've actually gotten 45 games beaten this year. It's fantastic. We're doing this thing, 52 games in a year. Everyone else has either given up.
Who started that? The show. That wasn't it. He was in the chat earlier. Was it CM Retro that started that? Who started that whole thing?
I stole it from Drink a Beer, Play Games.
Oh, okay. I was seeing it around in like my feed. I was like, man, I never really counted how many games I beat a year.
I know CM Retro was saying that you have to beat, in order to be a real gamer, you have to beat.
Oh, that's what it was. I remember
games
that video.
A year or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that now. That's what it was.
Yeah, but Drink a Beer, Play Games. They have a thing where they see how many games they could beat in a year. Yeah, we were doing this thing until our entire family fell apart. Yeah, until everybody. But yeah, so I got 45 games. I just beat Swords of Ditto, Inscription, and Bad Boy in this last week. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get 52 games.
I've been a bum, man. I've been out of work for so long. Like I other than Zelda, I'm mostly out of the loop for the past year and a half. So I have no idea what's going on in the gaming scene as far as all the games I missed out on.
Yeah, I've been running through my backlog, running through the free games on the PlayStation Premium. So I'm gonna try it. I'm trying to get through. What it is I know some people are like, "Oh, Tony, this is it's gonna hurt you, and you're not really enjoying the games." But before I started doing this, I would just play a game for 2 hours, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm over this. Let me play something else," because I have so many games, right? It's just overwhelming. But now, with knowing that I'm keeping track of how many I beat, I'm actually like, okay, I'm gonna power through this slow part of the game and then keep playing. So 45.
Right.
I think I might be able to hit about 60 by the end of the year. Some people were upset because I beat Castlevania 3 real easily. They're like, "Oh my god, he's a cheater!" And then I beat DuckTales 2. There was some controversy with that. People thinking that I used rewind or some shit.
Like you use save states and would have just spliced it all together.
I was literally playing it live, and they're like, "You used rewind." I'm like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, look, the video's right there.
when I was speedrunning, man, like they had some kind of weird rules. And I understood there's cheaters and stuff, but like they allow emulators on there, and then they were like, your console is modded for composite video. I'm like, yeah, for composite video, like nothing sped up or anything. It's still an original console. They ended up accepting it, but whatever. I don't know. Just like you can allow emulators, but have an issue with you know, the fact that it has composite out.
Yeah, that's I don't understand it. I don't do speedrunning because
To be fair, that wasn't speedrun.com. That was what's the other site? The original one from Fistful of, what was it? The Donkey Kong documentary with what's his name?
Twin Galaxies.
Yeah, Twin Galaxies. That was one of their hangups.
See, look at 56K says you did use Rewind Live. I was there. Watch the video. It's there. It's there in the video. Tony, you lying about that? What else you been lying about? Nothing. Never lying.
Dude, unless you have like the input signal on screen and you playing on a real console, people are gonna accuse you of cheating. It's just the way it is.
Well, I was playing it on the Disney Afternoon Collection. So
can you even rewind on that?
Yeah, you can.
Oh shit! Well,
but other than that little snafu, it's been going well. A lot of the games don't have rewind that I've been playing. The only like qualifier I put on some of the games was like once you see the credits, right? Like, you know, because like certain games are like, oh, you got to flip this thing 18 times to see like the true ending. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go through all that.
I mean, they got to put stuff like that in games nowadays. I mean, if you really sit and think about it, back when games were hard as shit, every game like is hard. Ninja Gaiden's, Contra's, Gradius games, all these games are hard, right? This dude tells Nintendo, like, I don't really care for this Super Mario Brothers 2 game, like it's too hard. And then they give us this other game, right? Because they thought it would be too hard for us. That was back when games were hard as shit. Every game, no, you barely had continues, you know.
I actually beat
nowadays.
As a kid.
Now, but like nowadays, like I can't imagine the fucking the people that call these companies are like barely can get the game started, let alone figure out what to do. Like they have to have that stuff.
56K when he says no one saw that, I'm gonna play it legit off stream. All right. What happened was I wasn't paying attention and I hit the button and I did rewind it. It was like one little
button. Shit. Rewind gate.
It was literally like an hour and a half of me playing, and then I rewound like 10 seconds. And people are like, "Oh my god!" But either way, I did play it off stream. I did beat it legit. But yeah, I'm not gonna platinum games. I'm not gonna like if I'm playing it and I get the platinum through the course of the game, it's fine. But I'm not going out of my way to like platinum games. Just beating them enough for me. 56 says, I hated that you have 5 lives to beat entire games. Beat 'em ups.
I never did. The only beat 'em up I really cared for, and maybe this is sacrilege, but obviously I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 when I was a kid, but I never had to pay. Like I would sit there and fixate on Contra or Gradius or something like that and play it over and over again until I could beat it, even as a kid. But for some reason, beat 'em up games, it was just like, yeah, this is pissing me off. I don't feel like fucking with this. Until Maximum Carnage came out on Sega Genesis. That one I liked a lot.
I beat that one. I beat the Super Nintendo version.
Like aside from X-Men 2 Clone Wars on Sega Genesis, like aside from that game, Maximum Carnage is like my favorite game on the Genesis, pretty much.
Would the X-Men game be a beat 'em up? I don't think it's a beat 'em
It's not. It's not. I'm not comparing it as a beat 'em up. I'm just saying like games in general. Those are like my top 2 games for the Genesis. I had them as a kid.
I remember playing the original X-Men game on Genesis. We had that, right?
Yeah.
And you get all the way up to Mojo, and then you beat him, and it's like you have to like reset the computer, right? And I'm like, what the fuck do we do? Like we beat him, and the game just like is on that screen, right? Like reset the computer, and like we don't know what to push.
Dude, I still have not revisited that game. I rented it multiple times as a kid, and I could not figure it out. Like I would get
you have
like
to
to
reset
maybe
the
the
game.
3rd level or something, and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we loved that game. We played it. And I think we were stuck on that screen for like 10 minutes. And finally, I'm like, well, fuck it. Obviously, the game has glitched or something. We have to reset the game.
Isn't there like a point where you fight like Sabretooth on a cliff or something?
I think so.
I think that's the furthest I ever got on that game.
Yeah.
Was that fight.
See, Tommy knows. You have to reset the you literally have to reset the Genesis.
So it pulled the Hideo Kojima before Hideo Kojima did.
Yeah. And luckily, right? Because I'm like, fuck it, I guess we got to reset the game and start all over, right? We reset it, and then like it comes up. It's like, oh shit, that's what you had to do. Like, it'd be nice if they told you, right? And you hit the reset button on the Genesis.
Probably said it somewhere on the fucking manual.
Because if you hit the off switch, right? Like if you were like, fuck this, like, and you turned it off, then
you lost everything.
You lost everything, right? So
yeah.
Luckily, I reset it and didn't turn it off. As for he says, I'm bad at beat 'em ups. Any tips? Don't get hit. Literally, that's like the only thing I can tell you. Pick the fast characters. It's always better to hit when your opponent can hit you.
What always pissed me off was like the strong attack took your life. That trope always pissed me off. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck these games.
And just don't use them. Jump kick a lot. Yeah, 100 was right. Jump kick. Yeah. I love beat 'em ups. Yeah. Some of the older ones don't hold up though because they're so.
There's a lot that I do like. You know, I still like the Double Dragon games. I like the Ninja Turtle games and Maximum Carnage, but I've never really gotten to like all the other ones. Streets of Rage, Final Fight, all those other ones. Other than like the Simpsons arcade, the X-Men arcade, I used to play the shit out of those in our bowling alley. Pizza Huts.
Now, we actually beat me and my brother. There used to be this little, corner store, and it had Jackal, Pac-Man, Double Dragon, and something else. There's 4 arcade machines in there. We actually beat Double Dragon in the store.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's if you remember the original, like when you get to the end and you have to fight each other, we're like, what the fuck's going on? And I realized before he realized what was going on, and I beat him, and he got all pissed at me. Bread was the worst name? What?
Yeah, Maximum Carnage.
Right.
One of the little hooligans.
Maximum Carnage sucked. It was a terrible game.
Nah.
It is. Here's why. Here's why Maximum Carnage is terrible. And I know it's not because of the repeated enemies. It's not because of the backgrounds. It's not because
Don't say the music.
The levels are so short. No, it's because the controls were unresponsive. I never played the Genesis version. I played the Super Nintendo version.
Oh, you got to play the Genesis version, dude. That's the only version to play. Now, I haven't played Separation Anxiety in a while. It might be the exact opposite for Separation Anxiety, but dude, Maximum Carnage for the Genesis is amazing.
No, it's hard as shit because like when you do the one move where you grab the guys on both sides and slam them together, that usually kills the guy. Kills them both. Like getting that to actually fucking work is so hard on the Super Nintendo. And then there's like spots on the map that like you got to be pixel perfect, and you got to like do a jump kick and like land, and then you go to like the bonus stage. That's what pissed me off, because we'd be sitting there like we know right there in that like doorway is a bonus stage, but you gotta like keep fucking with it to like.
It
finally,
sounds like you're describing Karate Kid for the NES. Like that's exactly what it sounds like you're describing.
Dude, it was ridiculous, but we did manage to beat it. Also, what pissed me off is it's Maximum Carnage. Just 2 fucking characters in the game. It's a single player game. Come on.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well,
ridiculous.
What's next on the old docket?
Besides complaining about old games, have you heard about Antstream? Because it's coming to Xbox. All you Xbox fans, look at this. For $29.99 plus, you get Antstream Arcade, or you can get the Antstream for $80. You get the lifetime pass. So it's $29.99 a month.
So
gives you
right
access
off the top, lifetime. So as long as it's successful.
No, I think as long as it's still operational.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be successful. It just has to, the service just has to be up, right? The server still has to work.
Like, do you think 3 Xboxes from now it's still going to be a thing for Microsoft?
It's not through Microsoft.
Or I guess
service.
I should say 3 generations from now.
It's through Antstreams, and I think they've been around for a while. So maybe.
So the $79.99, that's a one-time charge?
One-time charge.
Yeah. It's not horrible. I mean, like 1,300 games. I was looking at these links prior, and I was thinking about it. Like, wouldn't that be more games than the Wii U, 3DS, and Switch? Like, not obviously you can't compete with the eShop on the Switch, but I'm more talking like the NES and SNES games that they put out with the subscription. Wouldn't that dwarf all of those consoles? The virtual consoles that they had?
It does, but here's the issue. Here's the issue that I have, right? Okay, so out of the 1,470 games currently in the library of Antstream, you got 201 Amiga games, right? So right off the bat, 201 games I'm never going to play.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You got 35 Amstrad games, so it's another 35 I'm not going to play. The arcade games, 293, so there's probably a lot of them you're going to play here. Like the Joe and Mac, Joust, R-Type 2.
Yeah, you're going to get use out of that. That's cool.
Rampage. What else we got here? Rampart's good. Rastan, Renegade, Art of Fighting 2, Art of Fighting.
Go down to the G's. Let's see if they have Gradius. Bet you they don't.
Scroll on down. I don't like how they got this. Like, oh, fuck. Galaga 88, Gauntlet 2.
No Gradius.
No Gradius.
First GRA is Gravatar.
That is in the arcade section. They might have
like they might have Salamander.
Yeah, but I'm saying they might have Gradius on like the Nintendo version or something.
Right.
Do they have They have Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Spy Hunter. Used to love Spy Hunter. Splatterhouse, both Space Invaders. Look at that. I mean, the arcade games alone might be worth it for some people.
Yeah. No Salamander. Oh well.
Then you get 8-bit Atari games. You got
never gonna play any of the Atari ones.
It's only 28 games, so it's not that bad. Boulder Dash, 2600. You got 28 games of those. Missile Command. Now, for all you Amico fans, you can get your Missile Command fix. Asteroids, Combat, dodge them. Here's what I never get, right? And I understand like the adult games like Custer's Revenge are like taboo. But if I was running a service like this, I'd be like, I just throw them in there for the fuck of it. Because everyone's heard of like Beat 'em and Eat 'em, right? But like how many people have actually played it? here you go. You can finally play that weird
Yeah.
sex game on the Atari, right? 7800, you got 11 games. The Commodore 64. Here's like another 358 games I'm never gonna touch.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of passionate people about the Commodore 64. I mean, there is about everyone, but I would like to check out the Commodore 64.
Finbar says, I remember when Anstream became the big VCS selling point. That's how far expectations fell for that console. Yeah, but the VCS is coming back, baby. They're teaming up with Playmaji from Polymega people.
Oh, look, they have tournaments too. See, it says this week's tournament, R-Type 2.
Yeah,
So there's like leaderboards and competitions and shit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think the multiplayer games, you can play them online with other people through the Anstream.
Yeah, they need to get GoldenEye for this then. Untouched, not fucked with, just be able to fucking play it online without having to split screen with anybody.
You get 5 DOS games. Not going to play those. 5 Game Boy games. This is like the weirdest
5?
thing. Yeah. Because it's probably like non-Nintendo, non-licensed.
Right. Yeah.
Like Super Hunchback.
Yeah, who wants to play that? That's quality shit right there.
Warm Blaster. The Atari
Fortified.
Lynx.
I have that in my fucking Game Boy case right now. Weird.
The Lynx, you get Super Asteroids and Missile Command. Probably the only Lynx game you would play.
You know what? The Lynx has a few good games, and they have an incredible fucking Ninja Gaiden 3 port on the Atari Lynx.
Yeah, but it's not in here.
I beat it in one fucking on one life. I fucking no death run Ninja Gaiden 3 for the Atari Lynx. Like that's how faithful the fucking port is.
I don't think I've no death run anything in my life. I'm good at games and I can beat games. But like the whole no death run, no hit, like I am not that like into it. I was like, no, I don't.
I'm just trying to say it's a really good port because I was completely used to the NES game and I put it on an emulator and I was just like, let's see how it works, and it's such a good port. Like I was able to beat it just like it was the NES game. It's just a little more blotchy.
What else we got going on here? The Genesis got 57 games. Okay, so now we're getting a little better here. Anything good? Probably no Sonic games. Tanglewood, Chaos Engine. The Chaos Engine's all right.
I don't know. You think they would be able to license Maximum Carnage? I doubt it.
Doubt it. They got the 2 Earthworm Jim games, though. So you want to get your Earthworm Jim fix. There you go. I haven't even heard of some of these games. Generals of the
Todd's
Game
Adventures in Slime World. Is that any relation to this? Isn't there a Slime World like Metroidvania on the Atari Lynx?
No idea.
Mm.
No Mallet Legends Whack-A-Critter. Hell yeah. Sign me up. I'm going to pay $89 for this. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's a decent game. For the MSX, you get 13 games. You don't get the Metal Gear game, which is probably the only game that you want on there.
All right,
you're going to get it in the new Metal Gear collection, though. You're going to get the Metal Gear game.
I used to have those back on the, what was it? Was it Metal Gear 2 Sustenance or something? Or it might have been 3. I don't remember. For the PS2.
Yeah, but that's Metal Gear Solid 2, not Metal Gear.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm just talking about like it had the
Metal Gear Solid and then Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance or whatever. Because the original game is Metal Gear, then there was a Metal Gear.
No. What I'm saying is you could unlock. Scroll up, real quick, on that. What was the? Was it Amiga? MSX. They had. It was 1 or 2 MSX games. That they had on the PlayStation 2 disc that you could unlock.
Yeah, those are the original Metal Gear games.
Yeah.
Those are going to be on the new Metal Gear collection.
Cool.
What I'm saying is the game that you were talking about is Metal Gear Solid 2 that has the 2 Metal Gear
right.
games. Because you said
Correct.
Metal Gear 2, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, my bad. I misspoke. Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3 Sustenance, one of the special edition versions.
You got to remember, I'm autistic like that.
I got you.
Like if I like, oh no, you've missed a word, I will harp on it like no one's business. It's crazy.
It's all good.
I've no death run in my life so far, at least. Yeah, that's true. That I've done that. NES, you get 33 games. Again, I'm noticing some of these are making multiple appearances, like Boulder Dash, California Games, Star Wars 2.
Yeah,
Hero the
I'm
Krogan.
slowly kind of coming on your side. Like after scrolling through these games, is there literally 2 PS1 games?
Yeah, 40 Winks and Loaded. I had to scroll to check maybe if that was like a misprint. I've never heard of either of these.
Yeah, so this earlier I was looking at this and it broke my mind because it was like, how are they gonna have Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games on here? And yeah, it's like, yeah.
And then we got 42 SNES games. Joe and Mac 2. They don't have the original Joe and Mac. They got the Super Star Wars. Super Star Wars Return of the
Super
Jedi.
Noah's Ark 3D.
Yeah, you've never played that?
I
It's like
have it.
it's like Doom, but with Noah.
Yeah, I have it.
It's awesome. You get 2 pinball games, like 3 pinball, 4 pinball games, man. All your pinball needs. And there really isn't anything like Utopia. Maybe that's probably your best one for weird SNES games that you probably don't own. 351 ZX Spectrum games. Not gonna play those. 1 MSX2 game and 1.
Oh, that's disappointing.
5200. Yeah. So what initially sounded like awesome, like, oh yeah, 1400 games, and you scroll through the list, you're like, yeah, it's like 20 games that I'm gonna play.
Even an $80 one-time price. It's like, dude, no. If I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna get a Pi. Even if I have to pay somebody to like load it because I can't be bothered. I don't know.
Disavow.
Yeah, you can disavow, but I'm just saying, like, if that's out there, I don't know.
56K is right. $80 is price for Marks. Yeah. It feels weird. Like you see it, and you're like, oh my god, 1,400 games. And once you start digging deep into it, you're like, oh man, this is not worth it. I do like Utopia though. It is a pretty decent game. It says you got the original MSX Metal Gear games with substance version of Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. It's Metal Gear Solid 3. Good job, Finbar.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was because I had both special edition versions of Solid 2 and Solid 3.
Talking about games that are not on mainstream, yeah, those are the good ones. It feels like the same genre is repeated on every system. It does. There was so many games that were like repeated, and because back in the old days, there's like 12 consoles and they all got their own version of the game. So Anstream will let you play each one.
Well, how did they get Star Wars but they didn't get the Marvel stuff? That's odd, right?
Because probably the Lucas Arts has
Because
the
a lot of them
license
were
for it.
LJN, right? Originally.
Yeah. It all has to do with who owns the license to the game and how that was worked out back in the day.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. If like most of them were LJN, how the fuck did it end up in different parties? I don't know.
Shit gets piecemealed over the years. People come in like, hey, I want that license. I know there's a lot of old games right now where they don't even know who has the license.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot
Like,
of fucking games.
I mean, we just seen, right? I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the Astro Smash and Shark, the Atari bought that license. They own those games now.
Really?
Yeah. Because the new versions of no, BBG owns it, not Atari. Misspoke. BBG Entertainment owns them, and they're going to put out the new versions that were supposed to come out on the Amico, they're going to be out on every system, pretty much. So, Intellivision under Tommy Tallarico sold their two biggest IPs, like the only two IPs that like people really know about.
It's okay, Finbar. You can stand up to Tony. You can say that you have a retro pie. It's all good.
Can't. And we disavow that here on this show. It's disavowed. As someone who works closely with video game developer PR firms, we definitely do not pirate anything on this show. Ever.
I'm going to make you download like a pirated version of Photoshop or something.
Photoshop. So, yeah, what was touted as the biggest content drop on the Xbox, and stream is just, I think it's pretty much garbage.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. I heard 1400.
Certain things have to be said. 56K. Certain things have to be said. You have to understand. I have to play the game, right? It's like when Trevor's like, we're avoiding the rape word, right? Because he's playing the YouTube game. I gotta play the video game reviewer game. Right? I can't be like, yeah, pirate games, fucking don't buy them.
I'm not even saying it like that though. Like I'm saying, if the average Joe Blow has the choice between that or that, they're gonna not pay the $80 when they can get something physical. That's my thought.
The average consumer will spend $80 on something physical down the street. Probably a blonde, maybe a brunette.
That's not a bad investment.
All right. This from the BBC News, our friends over there in the UK, just like Finbar. Loot boxes. Game companies agree to restrict access in the UK.
What's your opinion on this shit? Like, are you all save the children? No, like specifically towards the children thing.
Fuck them kids.
Anyway, didn't mean to derail you. Go ahead.
No, it's fine because I was going to say, as far as loot boxes are concerned, I've always been of the mindset as long as it's not necessary to complete the game, or
as long as they don't make it pay to win.
Yeah, as long as it's not pay to win. If it's cosmetic, I don't care. It's fine. And as far as like, oh my God, kids are like, give your kids access to your credit card. Don't give your kids access to your fucking PayPal account, right?
Just like you should be aware of your what your kids are watching, you should be aware of the fact that they can spend thousands of dollars on your card in just a few minutes playing a game.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't hand your kid like a big stack of money and be like, go to the store, Jimmy. Here's $1,000 in cash, Jimmy. Go to the store and buy me a loaf of bread, right? You'd be like, no, here's $1. Go buy the bread, right? Like, just give them what they need. And when you set up the account, set it up so it only, like, you can't buy nothing. You have to come to me every time. You have to come to me and say, hey, I want to buy this, right? I get alerts whenever a Sidekick Max does anything. Like, even if it's a free game, like, it'll be like PlayStation will pop up like, hey, did you want to purchase this thing? It costs $0. I'm like, yeah, stop, fucking Sony. So, I mean, there's ways, but parents are just lazy and they want to shift the responsibility. They want to give their kids access to the credit card and then bitch and moan when the kid be a kid and buys, $40,000 worth of Robux.
I just don't understand. Like, and it's not just this, it's Twitch, it's society at large. I don't know. Just the whole clutching your pearls at gambling. It's gambling. It's gambling. I mean, maybe it's because I'm from Louisiana and I've been a degenerate. If you know the top-loaded gaming lore, which is nobody. I used to play poker for a living, you know, so like Texas Hold'em specifically. And I just don't understand. Like, if people want to gamble, let them fucking gamble and stop blaming the thing and not the person. It's the same thing with guns, man. Like, blame people and not the thing.
Mhm. Well, 56K warning says companies knowing parents use devices to babysit is the reason why loot box exists. I don't think that's the reason. I mean, it helps certainly, but I mean, loot boxes have existed in one form or another. It's baseball card packs, right? Baseball card packs are loot boxes. They're just physical loot boxes, and you just get a physical thing. But you basically you're going in, you buy your baseball card pack, and you're hoping for the good players, and you get nothing but trash, right? You spend $2, 99 cents, $2, whatever. It's probably like $5-6 now. But it's the same thing with Pokemon cards, Magic cards, all
Rocket
those
League,
trading cards. Yeah.
even Rocket League, man. Like, I play a little bit of Rocket League, and there's a ton of people that are like super into like customizing their car, and they start out by, okay, I want my car to look good, and then they eventually go to, yeah, I'm just collecting everything, and it's just like, holy shit, and
Like I
it's the
said,
same shit.
I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the side where I'm like, hey, I don't need to buy anything in this game. I can just play the game without any of the cosmetics. And then I've been on the other side where I'm like, oh shit, I got to buy everything because there are people that are some companies that knows Call of Duty is rated but played by kids. Yeah, but it's not their responsibility. It's like being like, well, this movie's rated X, but we know kids watch it, right? It's like,
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I think that they should have a policy, where a fucking kid spends, $1,200 in a fucking day or something on a game, and the parent had no idea, and that was the first time it happens? Should they give the money back? Yeah, but I think they should also ban the account. Like, you
Finbar
you
says
can't play anymore.
there's also adults that are just addicted to gambling. DSP is one such adult. I don't think DSP is addicted to gambling because it's not his money. If people were sending me, if you guys were sending me hundreds of dollars, I would be spending it on stupid shit like loot boxes too. Right? But you said you were a gambler, Trevor. What's the most you ever gambled in one hand of Texas Hold'em?
Oh God. Like, just was on the line.
Yeah.
Probably $2,500, something
Wow.
around there
The way you
on
said
one
it, I
hand.
was like, he's gonna be like 10,000, 10 grand, one hand.
No, we're talking about one hand. I mean, the pot might have been maybe around 6 grand, but what was from my own stack, probably about 2,500. I mostly played like cash games, and it wasn't like super high stakes or anything, just $1, $2 blinds, sometimes $2 and $4 blinds.
You were like in the back alleys of Louisiana.
Pretty much. Harrah's Casino, New Orleans, represent the smelly New Orleans. But bar rooms, there was a lot of easy money in bar rooms. You just sit down for 4 hours, make $800, call it a night. Easy money. Like, the dude's just like telling you, like, I have 2 pair and your trips are gonna easily beat me. So yeah, like,
We're just out here shearing sheep. That's all. I don't gamble. You might not be familiar with the lore, but I don't gamble. I just cheat. So
gotcha. I mean, back when I was playing in bars, it might as well have been cheating. Like, I just made money, man. That the thing that sucks about it is I thought it would last forever. So I never saved any of the money. I would just sit down at these poker games, make $1,000, go to Walmart, buy a bunch of shit I didn't need because I can get it the next night.
you ever see the movie Rounders?
Of course.
Yeah. You would be the Matt Damon, and I would be the other guy.
Probably, yeah.
I'm out there just dealing from the bottom, and But anyway, back to the loot boxes. The UK gaming industry has unveiled plans to try and restrict access to loot boxes for children. Oh, that's not going to work. Now, loot boxes allow players to buy in-game extras that are assigned at random, but some are concerned about their relationship with problem gambling. I think, before we get too much more into this, they should just get rid of loot boxes and be like, you can't have randomized stuff, but you can charge $1 for a skin, right? Like, so you know what you're paying for. You're paying $1, you get the skin. There's no
I think
randomization.
that's
There's
more
no.
acceptable. Like, I mean, I think it's kind of bullshit that they make it into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I would, if they're gonna do the whole skin thing, like, yeah, just charge $1 for the thing, you know.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be $1. You could charge whatever, but just a flat fee. Like this is what it is, and this is what you get.
Right.
Right.
And if you want it to be rare, then charge more for it. Like, if it's supposed to be something that only 3 or 4 people in the entire game have, then charge $500 for it. And then the fucking few people that are gonna buy it, they can fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Everybody else, then they won't, but they're never gonna fucking do that.
Oh, because you make more money this way.
Right. I mean, it's a fucking limitless cash cow.
Yuki, I don't know how it's pronounced. The body that represents games company says the proposals will improve protections for all players. They argue the 11 new guidelines underline the industry's commitment to safe and responsible play. Loot boxes are a way of spending real money to get digital items like new characters, in-game clothes, weapons, moves, or experience points. Exactly what you're getting with each box is random. Some compare them to buying a Kinder Egg or a packet of football stickers. Others say it's like using a slot machine. I love when like the BBC or somebody writes about games, like a non-gaming site, and they like dumb it down to like the base level. It's like a fucking Kinder Egg. It's like, it's a little surprise inside. The UK government has spent 3 years figuring out what to do about them, from threats to ban their use for under 18s in the UK to an edict last summer for game companies must create new rules to protect children and young people. Are they a gateway to gambling addiction, or just a fun mechanic that enhances players' gaming experience? I don't think anything is a gateway to addiction, right?
No, me neither. I've never
think
bought into that war on drugs propaganda shit.
No, but what I'm saying is, I mean, either you're addictive or you have an addictive personality or you don't, right? It's almost a gamble. It's like God's own loot box. Am I addicted to things or am I not? Right?
I think you can do things responsibly in moderation. Anything that you do in abundance can become, an addiction.
But I'm saying I don't think so. I don't think that's the thing. I think like certain people will never become addicted to things just because.
I also think that is true as well. I'm more speaking to like addictive personalities. I think people with addictive personalities can do things in moderation and not be addicted. But it's the second that you start fucking doing it a lot that addictive personality just fucking gets hooked.
Yeah, I think we need to like, do a lot of, child psychologist type shit, right? Like, hey, when your kid's young, like take them in, like figure out what their issues are going to be. Like, hey, your kids are going to grow up to be addicted to shit. He's,
like figure out Pokemon warning signs
because he can't handle. Yeah. Finbar says the BBC explains it like those two guys explained commodities, Eddie Murphy and Trading Places.
Oh, that's a good movie. I love that movie.
All right, let's put it to the test. Someone try crack rocks. Just want to see where it goes. I mean, if you can smuggle me some crack rocks, I'll do it. I'll do it for you if it's just an experiment.
Now, one thing I'll say is I feel like some of these cross over into like scam territory. And let me elaborate. So like let's say what's that game PUBG. Okay, I think there's like there's drops and loot crates or whatever, and you can get random things. But they have like a trading system set up, right?
Yeah.
Where you can literally go on, I think it's Steam, set it up in the marketplace and literally sell it for money, right?
Yeah.
But then some games have this whole same, loot crates. It's basically Magic the Gathering card, cracking. pack cracking, whatever. But they don't allow you to sell these items for money. So it's like there's no monetary value then, because the only thing you can do is trade it for other items from people. And then if you want to try doing the ultimate thing, which is selling your account because you have this collection of stuff or this super rare item, if you try doing that like on the Discords or whatever, it's a bannable offense.
Yeah, well, because it has to do with how the regulations on gambling works, and if you trade it, if you're able to trade it for money, then it is 100% considered gambling, and so that's why they don't let you trade, and that's why they have to put the rules to crack down. Like, oh, you can't sell your account because it would be gambling now. In order for them to not have to pay.
But what I guess what I'm saying though is it's gambling with none of the possible monetary luck, that's involved in gambling. So the house always wins no matter what. I mean, that's literally a scam. So
well, it's not a scam.
I mean,
you're
already
getting something. It's not a scam, and I'll push back because
they're
telling you what you're getting. They're like, you're getting this digital tchotchke that you can't sell, that you can't trade, that when the account closes, it's gone. They're telling you, they're not lying. They're not going, hey, you could trade this for money, and then you try and like, we lied to you. That would be a scam. Is it shitty? Yes. Is it not worth it? 100%. But it's not a scam because they tell you up front what you're getting.
All I'm saying is if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna allow gambling, then they need to go all the way. And to have gambling and not allow people to get money for them, I think that's scummy.
Have you heard about how Japan does pachinko?
In regards to what, like
gambling?
In what context?
You play pachinko, right? And you win a bunch of balls, right? Then you trade those in for little items, like say like a fun size Snicker or like a whistle, right? And so that's not gambling. It's like if you're at like fucking Showbiz Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese, right? Trading in tickets for like these little tchotchkes. And then they have a store next door that then buys your tchotchkes for lots of money. They're like, oh, you have a whistle? We'll give you $100 for it. So it's not gambling because you're not winning any money.
Wait, yeah, but that doesn't really relate to the.
No, I was just asking a question.
Oh, okay. Because they can still get that monetary gain if they can turn around and sell it and someone's willing to buy it.
It is, again, because it's two different companies doing it, right? The one who's giving you the crap and the one who's buying the crap are technically different companies. It's okay. It's a loophole in the law.
Right. I get it. But so in my example,
we're just giving you the crap. No one has figured out how to buy the crap yet.
Like the second you would sell to that other company that you go to sell the whistle, all of a sudden the pachinko machine guys are like, you can't buy from our machines anymore because you sold an item.
Break your legs. Yeah, but would you consider Chuck E. Cheese a scam? You play the games and you get tickets. And then you buy.
No, because you
spend like $100, and then
you end up with an item that you can get something for.
Yeah, but it's like
you can turn around and sell it on eBay.
You spend $50 to get like a little.
No, I know, I realize, but I don't know. I guess for that, the fact that you get something physical that you can sell, the first time you go do it, you're going to learn that lesson. Like, okay, well, this is not worth it. And then you should know, all right, this is basically a scam.
So if when you bought your loot boxes, if they sent you a certificate saying, congratulations, you bought loot boxes, you'd be okay because you have a physical item?
No, because it's digital.
No, I'm
Are you
saying,
saying if they physically
sent
sent
you?
me
Yeah,
one?
they mailed you. They mailed your house, and you get a little card from Blizzard. Thank you for buying our loot boxes. And you get a little card.
I mean, is there a
Is it now not a
potential?
scam all of a sudden?
Is there a potential for there to be something in the loot box that I can turn around and sell?
No, you just get the card. You just get the card in the mail. That's it. Whenever you buy a loot box, you get a card in the mail that says thank you for buying the loot box.
Well, then yeah, at that point, then you would say like, no, this is a scam. I'm not going to do this shit again.
But I think
I'm
you're
just saying in an ideal world, I think if they're going to do gambling, they should do it all the way.
Well, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, you're saying scam, and I think maybe you're using scam.
I'm using
colloquially.
it a bit loosely for sure,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it's not something I would do. It's not something I would sit there and waste money on.
You've never bought loot boxes?
No. No.
I have.
Never loot boxes. Not even one.
I've spent hundreds of dollars on loot boxes.
You got to remember, I'm anti-digital. The closest I got to anything was like Rocket League, and the stuff I did on there was trade, item for item. So no real loot box stuff for me.
I was real big into the Marvel, that was it, Contest of Champions mobile game. I'd buy the loot boxes, but only when there was deals. Like would they be like, normally it'd be like say $50 for like 100 loot boxes, but they'd be like, hey, it's Christmas, for $50 we'll give you like 1,000 loot boxes. Like, oh, okay.
No, I'm saying I never bought loot box. I'm into Magic, so in a way, I have bought loot boxes. If you want to consider buying Magic the Gathering packs, loot boxes, which it most certainly is.
Tony made the ultimate gamble when he was bidding up for that Amico shell. Unfortunately, he lost and ended up winning it. It was a good purchase. The Amico shell was the greatest.
You kind of see what I'm saying, though, about like, okay, I buy a Magic pack. I just got this $45 card I can turn around and sell.
Yeah, but two things, though. One, the reason that it's worth $45 is because they said how many exist, right? Like, if right now, if Magic the Gathering just flooded the market with that card, your card would now be useless.
Oh, for sure.
They literally control the market. As
for sure. But I mean, they do the same thing with the items in loot boxes. They control, the frequency to which they drop.
Yeah, but again, it's not. There's no physical item, so it doesn't matter if realistically, if everyone was winning the best stuff in loot boxes, there'd really be no downside for you, right? Like yours would not be less valuable, right? Because it's just what you wanted, right? Unless you're doing it for bragging rights, it realistically would have no effect on the greater economy of the loot box. And again, going into it, right? That's why I say it's not a scam. Is it scummy? Yes, but it's not a scam because going into it, you're not getting a physical item.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was using a loose interpretation of the word scam there, buddy. Just to be like, yeah, you do that one time, you realize, oh, well, this is a jip. I'm not going to do this again. It's stupid.
That's why they let you win the first one.
I have a fiduciary responsibility to my family not to do this stupid shit, sort of thing.
56 says finding someone to buy that $40 card is another factor. I'll play you at Magic, Trevor. I'm a pro.
We found the guy that doesn't like Magic here.
Who's that? No one is buying Magic cards right now. Amazon just flooded the market. We tried playing some Magic online. Didn't work out well for the group.
Sorry. Mom walked in.
Like I said,
just visiting.
Finbar and myself. There was a whole Magic thing that happened on the channel where people got mad at each other, and it was pretty. It was knockout drag out. But maybe you could see the light.
What wait, are you I'm trying to catch up. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So you
on this channel
Finn also play Magic? Is that what you said?
I played Magic before in the past, and then Gary, when Gary was on here, we were talking about Magic cards and loot boxes. It was the same thing, and it ended up with Magic the Gathering cards. And I said I stopped playing Magic because eventually, right? I said you get to a point where the better cards, right? You have a better chance of winning if you have better cards, right? It's like you're not going to have as good of a time, right? Like if you just have the beginner,
you
set,
have
right.
It
can only take you so far.
You have to. I mean, there's a certain aspect of it of like if you hand someone a meta deck and then hand someone another that same meta deck, the better player is gonna win most of the time. That's just
yeah.
the way
That's
I
what
see
I
it.
said. I said if the decks were even, the better players
you
are probably
have
going to win.
to compete. You have to basically do the pay to win thing. You got to keep up with the meta. You gotta have a great mind at constructing decks that you're literally creating the meta.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. All I said was like, it gets to a point where it's kind of pay to win, right? You can only go so far with the basic because there's going to be cards that are better than other cards, right? And he's like, no, there's no such. I'm like, dude, there's literally like, you'll have like the basic card will be like, say, like a 2/1, right? And then another card is a 2/2. The 2/2 is obviously better than the 2/1, right? If they're both just like no effects, no nothing, it's just health, is better than something with 2 attack, 1 health, right? And he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, so it's like he just wouldn't like give up on the point. He's like, no. All the cards are the same. No card is better than any other card. I'm like, okay, Gary.
What format were y'all playing?
I was just talking in generalities.
Nothing. Wow.
We eventually ended up.
I play modern. I have a Hammer Time deck.
Eventually, we played some. No, probably to like 2 people. It means something. We ended up playing the was it Magic Online Arena?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would get my shit wrecked on there. I don't fuck around with those cards. Only the modern stuff.
Well, it has the modern cards and then it has the classic and everything. And then has different.
They don't have the modern format on Arena.
No, I think they do now.
They don't. I promise you. Not unless it was done in the last week.
They probably don't. I know
it's an actual format. It's
I know.
It's like modern.
Okay. I know what you mean. Well, what I'm saying is because when I first started playing on Arena, it had one. There was like one format, and then when we went back to play, there was like a bunch of formats. I didn't really look into it to see. Because it was like all of a sudden, like all my cards on the fucking on the decks that I had, they're like, oh, none of these can be played. They're not fucking valid. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Finbar says I have a clip of it on my channel. It was supposed to be Gary versus Tony, but well, Yeah. Anyway.
What's the part?
Gary's not on the channel. There was a big fight. Tempers were flaring. Stuff happened.
Gotcha. Opening old wounds here on the show tonight.
Always. It says, some countries like Belgium and the Netherlands think the former and have banned them. Last July, then Culture Secretary Nadine Dorey said that because the evidence about loot boxes was still emerging, direct government intervention may risk unintended consequences. The games industry should come up with measures itself before any new laws are introduced, she said. It's taken nearly 12 months for those measures to be agreed upon. The new principles. UK has published principles that it believes will allow the industry to self-regulate the use of loot boxes. The first is a commitment to make available technological controls to effectively restrict anyone under 18 from acquiring a loot box without the consent or knowledge of a parent or guardian. Many of these controls are already available on game platforms, but aren't widely used as they could be. The new principle sets out best practice for the use in an effort to increase take-up. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Again, it comes down to parents just being lazy or just being bad at technology, right?
Yeah.
The second is to drive awareness of those controls with public information campaign. An expert panel will be set up to best share will be set up to share best practices on age assurance issues. Again, this is stupid. We're in an age where no one's watching regular TV, right? What are they gonna like have ads on fucking Netflix, Hulu, where people are actually watching? No, because they can't afford that shit. Do you think the UK's or the game industry is gonna pay for that shit? It's gonna be some like tucked away ad on a fucking website like IGN that parents don't even go to.
Yeah, this is like well wishes sort of shit. Like,
Yuki says game companies will disclose the presence of loot boxes before someone chooses to buy a title, and a game will have to show clear probabilities before the purchase of a loot box. Now that I can get behind. It's not going to be a deterrent, but at least it's nice to know. Hey, you have a 1 in a million chance to get X item.
yeah, here's your Surgeon General's
Warning.
yeah.
The plans include rules on how loot boxes should be presented and a commitment to more lenient refund policies. There's also a proposal to tackle the black market that surrounds these purchases. And they're doing more research about the impact and use. Progress will be reviewed in 12 months. This guy was disgusted with myself, and he was terrified. Look at him. Dave Spronson got into thousands of pounds worth of debt because of an addiction to loot boxes. How do you manage that? Like, is he like taking out mortgages on his house in order to like fucking buy loot boxes?
Fucking probably. I've heard of it happening multiple times, so probably.
56K says TCG is just RPG with more reading. Reading comprehension is the key in TCG. It is. But again, like because a game, not to get back into it, but because a game can't remain stagnant, right? In order for Magic the Gathering to be as successful as it is, it has to keep introducing new cards and new mechanics and new things, right? And so older cards get phased out because they can't compete with the newer stuff that's coming out a lot of times, right?
There's some stayers, especially in modern, man, and they just reprint them.
So I'm saying Magic, but when I say Magic, I mean like the general TCG.
But no, I agree with you for the most part. They have to constantly keep evolving and adding new shit in.
Yeah. And when I say like, again, it's not necessarily going to be like the main cards, right? It's going to be like those will stay, but like the cards, the support cards for your deck, right? Those might be changed out, right? Because these are better. These work better. They have better synergy with what you're trying to do in your deck. But anyway, because Yu-Gi-Oh had that problem, and they started introducing new mechanics and shit, and like the original Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like they just no good. Finbar says, "Where the fuck were you, all you MTG nerds, when we were doing the tournament? Gary might still be here if y'all helped kick Tony's ass." I kicked the shit out of Finbar. It was crazy. He never played though, so. Tony's out of his league here. Top loaded his nerd tier in TCG. Probably.
And I've only actually been playing Magic for maybe a year, but I got pretty deep into it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is download Arena, and we'll see. We'll have a little.
No, I know nothing about like standard or. I think what did they add recently? Was it Pioneer? Maybe they added recently because they did add another format recently, I believe. Or are they talking about adding one? I don't remember. I read an article. But no, I mean all I know is modern, and I like. There's so many rules and things to fucking follow. It's hard enough following one fucking format. So no, just to play on Arena, we'd have to like get on. I'd have to like get you a modern deck, and we'd have to get on Discord and play like that with our webcams. That's mostly how I've been seeing people play Magic online lately. Because Arena, freaking MTG Online, they make you get the cards again. Like MTG Online should be as easy as scanning the cards that you actually physically own, and you should have that digital card. I don't care what anyone says. That's how MTG Online should be.
Well, why? Oh, not to again, go off on a tangent, but why hasn't anybody done that?
There is one. It's just what do they call that? Open source. So I mean, it's taking forever to like get it, updated, and so it's kind of janky and a lot of bugs and stuff like that. So, but they do have it. It's just it's not officially recognized, by Wizards of the Coast.
56K says piracy.
Yeah, because they want you to buy their digital card. So the official MTG Online, you have to buy the cards, or you have to rent digital decks from people.
Yeah, well, Haunted Wish says it's because it would be too easy to dupe. Yeah, how would you prove you only have one card?
Well, the thing is, you wouldn't be able to prove that, it's not a proxy card.
Well, not even that. Like let's say you legitimately have one, right? But you scan it 3 times. How does MTG know that you actually have 3 versus you just scanning one card 3 times? See what I'm saying?
I guess you'd have to put them all 4 on there at the same time. But yeah, I don't know.
56 says Sony had this problem with their PS3 card scanning game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only way it would work, I guess, is if they started printing out cards. Like if they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do this, right? From now on, all the cards are gonna be printed out with a QR code that's unique."
I mean, that's what I think would be easily solvable, is just having some sort of barcode or something like that on it that they can scan it and it's serialized. QR code, something.
Come on, get into some arena. We'll play some standard. I'm not great, but it's big fun. It's a big hit on the channel. I think one person, Wisp, was like the only one watching us when we played for the hour.
I mean, I can try it, but I'm telling you, I'm no good at it. Like, I know the decks that I've been playing, and I've done a lot of research to be able to play these decks. So it's like that's kind of what I'm used to.
I make every card an NFT, put it on the blockchain. I did no research. I just started constructing decks and playing standard on Arena. So, I mean, people who are good will probably look at the decks I made and be like, "Oh, this is just like retarded. Why would you do this?" But it worked for me. All right. Some content creators have built careers on making exciting and entertaining videos around the use of loot boxes, and many players enjoy buying them responsibly every day. These regulations are largely designed to protect children and young people. However, they're not the only people who can develop an unhealthy relationship with in-game mechanic. For Dave Spronson, buying loot boxes became a problem as an adult. He first came across one in a mobile game based on his favorite anime show. How did I know that this guy was in the anime? He was buying fucking waifus. That's what it is. They don't want to tell you. They're trying to like downplay, but probably what. Soon he was getting frustrated as his progress began to slow, and so started buying boxes as a shortcut to level up his character. He would justify the purchases to himself by saying he was spending money to save the time it would take to enhance his character through gameplay alone. For Mr. Spronson, buying a loot box was the same feeling as scoring a goal in football. I don't think that's true. I mean, you would have to score a goal in football, right? To know. And he doesn't look like a guy that scored goals in football. So I don't think it's a 1-to-1 comparison. Right? As with any addiction, there's kind of an invisible line that's hard to pinpoint when I actually crossed it. When you start spending money you don't have, I think that's the invisible line. Right?
I mean, I just... you can't fucking do this shit and not expect to fucking lose your ass, man. But I don't know what the answer is on this shit, dude.
56K when he says, when we get into the segment where Top Loader gets topic he wants to talk about, Top Loader come back to stream to hear boring articles.
I don't think they're boring articles.
I mean,
like every article we've talked about, I've gone on like multiple tangents on each one of them. So
I think they think that the tangent means that you're not interested in the base article. I think that maybe that's what it is.
Oh,
don't worry, I'll make Trevor pick all the articles for next time. Like, see, guys, I don't even know what we're talking about. It says, I started to realize that it was getting out of control when I could no longer sustain buying loot boxes with my income. With my I think you've gone past the Rubicon already. Like, if you're spending your entire check on loot boxes, I think that's like, you're like, wait a minute, what has gone on?
Yeah, like the second you cross over from like, oh shit, I no longer have money to pay my rent, like that's an issue, dude. But I kind of also think like that's on you. It's not on the company, man.
I don't even think it's paying rent. I think way before then, right? You have money. You know, any responsible adult, right, has money, and you go, okay, this is what I need for my bills, and this is what I'm gonna spend, you know, going to the movies or my entertainment or whatever, right? When your entertainment budget starts ballooning in the budget for food and the other things, you know, your light and your gas and all that start getting pushed to the side, that's when you know you have a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like the second you go, hey, you know what? Instead of $100 a week on entertainment, I'm going to start spending 120. Go, wait a minute, there's a problem. Something's wrong. I didn't make an extra $20, so why am I spending an extra $20 on entertainment? Well, maybe I'm just more responsible than this guy. I had to resort to using credit cards, which I'd never had before. I used payday loans. Oh my God, payday loans are so horrible, right?
Here's a question: did they pay him to admit to all this shit?
No, I bet part of this is he probably like was suing or like, you know, declaring
and
bankruptcy.
He's just playing complete victim here.
Yeah, it's not my fault, guys. Look how, you know, because you. And here's the thing:
that game
right? Like
broke my fragile mind.
If he was on drugs or like alcohol, right, there'd be some sympathy for him. You're like, oh shit, this guy's like, we understand. You start with one beer, and pretty soon you're like fucking drunk 24/7, right? And you're trying to get help. But when you're like, hey, he was buying loot boxes, you're like, what a fucking idiot, like, right? It says over a period of 12 months, I had 28 from, like, who's giving him money? Obviously, he's not paying it back, right? I think maybe there's a problem with payday loans in the UK because I used a payday loan once in my life,
and never again, right?
Never again. But it was like I was one of those like had to do it situations, right?
Right.
But when I went, you know, I filled out the paperwork. They literally like, have you gotten a payday loan in the last X amount of days? And then they run your credit and everything, right, to make sure. Like, so I don't see how he's getting 28. Like he just walked into 28 different payday loan stores and they all just gave him money.
Funnily enough, I know of a guy that actually did that. He was actually another degenerate poker player like myself. It's kind of a sad story, but I think that's an issue, dude. And I don't know what they have in place to find that shit out, but basically, his wife had left him or something, and she went to like another state, and he went follow her. And I think why she left, he had it in his head that like they didn't have a house together, so she left. I think that was his in his mind what the issue was. And he hit every payday loan from Louisiana to Missouri, getting, I guess, as much as he could out each time. and he ended up with something like $50,000-$60,000. Now all of a sudden he gets found dead near the area she was at, and the money's gone. So it was ruled as a suicide, but everybody down here thinks that the ex-wife and the boyfriend murdered him for the money.
Yeah,
But
that's what it sounds like to me.
the point is, like, same thing. Like, he hit every one of these fucking payday loans within
Well,
like a week period.
he might have been lying and forging, because Haunted Witch is
Maybe,
snapping.
yeah.
Says he admitted to forgery. Yeah. 56 says credit card is better than payday loans if you can pay with credit card. Use card, payday comes paid off. It is. Credit card is way better. You get better rates. Payday loans are ridiculous. Like, as far as what they charge you, it's almost like a loan shark. You might as well just go to a loan shark, have them break your legs. It says after a 10,000 pound loan, that's pound, right? Or is that euro? Euro. I think that's a euro.
Yeah, euro
loan. He was struggling to keep his problem hidden. I started defaulting on loans. I forged my partner's signature to get a guarantee for a new loan. I'm assuming that's his business partner, because he doesn't look like the kind of guy that has a girlfriend.
Shots fired.
Mr. Spronson's partner found out about his financial troubles with their baby due in a matter of weeks. Let me just say right now, guys, men in the audience, if you say partner, I'm going to laugh at you, right? If you are dating a woman or married to a woman, that's your wife or girlfriend, not your partner. Okay.
I usually say wife or old lady.
Yeah, I always find it funny, like partner. So I'm always like, is he gay? Like the only people I hear using partner are like crazy lefties or like gay people, right?
Yeah, so I was talking to my life partner today, and yeah, it's not part of the vocabulary there for me.
Not part of the lexicon.
Yeah.
Mr. Spronson's partner found out about his financial troubles with their baby due in a matter of weeks. Money earmarked for a new house and pushchairs was spent on clearing up the debt. Again, not to like throw shade at this lady, but she didn't notice, like at some point, like, hey, why is the light out and there's no hot water in the house you live in? And you look disheveled and like you haven't eaten in a week. Right? There's signs. There's definitely signs when you're taking out that kind of money.
Yeah.
We had to go to family and tell them what had happened to ask for help. He said, all along this journey, there were times I lay in bed at night and I cried because I didn't get anything good out of the loot box. Fucker. I knew I had a son coming. I knew my partner wanted us to go for a house. And I knew my credit score was in the toilet. And I knew I'd gone too
Oh my
far.
God. So he is talking about a girl.
Yeah. I was disgusted with myself. I was terrified. I didn't know if I would be around my son when he was born, whether I would be allowed. Worse than how I was feeling was how it made her feel. This was someone who trusted me unconditionally with money, with love and everything else, and I betrayed it all. First off, maybe you shouldn't be playing anime games if you got a woman at home. That's the problem. There's a porn addiction.
I'm just in awe of this guy.
There's the vast majority of people.
I would be super embarrassed to admit all this shit. Even if I had like a pending fucking lawsuit. Like I don't know if I could like, yeah, so I did this and that and this and then I got cooked and you know I I don't think I'd be able to fucking sit here and be like, yeah, so all this shit happened.
This sounds like the beginning of a lot of movies. We got no money, honey. You got to pay off the debt somehow. The vast majority of people who buy loot boxes in games don't end up with a compulsion like this. For many, it's a fun and frivolous element of their game experience. However, cases like it, accompanied with criticism that some games have become pay to win, and concerns over the addictive nature of the mechanic, were the basis of the government wanting action. By 2025, loot boxes will be responsible for generating an estimated $16 billion in revenue for game companies. Damn. That's a lot of money.
I'm thinking about like, can you imagine like someone that's actually like addicted to crack or something? It'd be just like out of fucking Half Baked or something. You ever suck some dick for some loot boxes? Yeah, right. Then
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
This is true. I don't think he admitted that, but it might be part of the story. She's in the alley, like, I need one more loot box. It's like, this is the weirdest blowjob I've ever had, but whatever, dude. Getting the balance right between protecting vulnerable users and allowing game companies the freedom to flourish culturally and culturally, loot boxes are not a cultural flourishment, and economically has clearly been difficult. Given the length of time it has taken for any action, it is clear that the industry and government had different ideas about what should be done. Yeah, they want to make a whole bunch of money, and the government also wants money, but they want to make sure that no one's dying. In a statement, John Whittendale, Minister for Creative Industries, said, "We've been clear the video game industry needs to do more to protect children and adults from the harms associated with loot boxes. These new principles are a big step forward to make sure players can enjoy video games responsibly and safely. I look forward to seeing game companies put the plans in action, and we'll be watching their progress closely." Mr. Spronson now works as the head of Safer Gambling in a risk management company.
Of course.
He and his partner, Reconciled, are now married. They have strict rules to restrict his spending. He bought
Wait,
his
wait,
last...
let's go back for a second. All right. Where was the place? I'm trying to find Safer Gambling as the hit. Let's check out Safer Gambling. Can we do that? What is Safer Gambling?
It's just as the head of Safer Gambling in a risk management company. So I don't think that's the name of the company.
Oh, it's his fucking position.
Yeah.
In a risk management company. Okay. That's fine.
Could you imagine hiring a crackhead? Like, hey, you used to be a crackhead? Yeah. So we're going to put you in charge of the drug program at our work.
All right, let's try this. Head of Safer Gambling. What is that person like? Here's what I'm trying to get at. Okay. This is basically what I'm thinking. He's trying to come off as the Mothers Against Drunk Driving person now, right? You know, like
so?
He's working for a company that's like, save the little children or whatever against the big bad gambling gaming companies.
Maybe. Here it is. He works for Epic Risk Management.
Oh yeah, that's his shirt. He's got the EPIC shirt on in the picture.
And he is the head. I'm on his LinkedIn.
I see it as being like a Mothers Against Drunk Driving sort of thing.
They're business consulting and services. Let me see.
So then they hit up all the gaming companies like, you don't want to be responsible for a story like this, do you? Then you should let us consult with you, and then you won't be a scummy game dev.
Yeah, he's the Anita Sarkeesian of gambling.
Right. Yeah. They got to pass the UWU test.
Yeah. That's all that is. It says he bought his last loot box in July 2014. What the fuck game was he playing? That this whole situation happened fucking 9 years ago.
Do they not even mention the game it was? Probably not.
No, they just said it was an anime game.
I'm not going to give them any advertisement.
I'm still a big gaming fan, and I still play now with my 8-year-old son. But I make sure we play games where I can disable purchases. In my opinion, you need to classify loot boxes as gambling. If you look at a loot box and look at a slot machine, there's no difference. Slot machines give you money. Loot boxes do not give you money.
Can you imagine when that kid gets older?
Yeah.
He's going to be playing games. The dad's like super nervous. He's like, I'm not you, Dad.
I learned it from watching you.
I learned it from watching you. That's awesome.
All right. What else we got on the agenda here? All right, real quick, Amico story, because I know that's what most of these people came to hear. This comes to us from I don't know who, but it's posted by UAnon. Damn it, that wasn't supposed to happen. It says, apparently this is in the choice provisions Discord. So it says, oh yeah, speaking of Amico, what's going on with the breakout game you guys were doing? I know the Amico is sort of in limbo now, but I was curious if anything else has come out about it. Mike Roosh says, yeah, that's a thing. I know one thing. I don't think the game will ever see the light of day. It was a weird project. And when I say weird, well, you know, if you all bothered Garrett, maybe he could get a version on Steam we could share with only the coolest fans. Says, that's a real shame, though. It seems like such a waste. The little bits we saw looked really fun. It was basically just another beat flux. Mike says, it was cool. I think we could probably share it. I would say it was far from finished, but a fully playable game, and it will never be released. Says, I don't mind game-breaking bugs. I can handle it. Imagine at the end it says, coming soon, bit trip reflux. Mike says, I think it has some bugs, but I think it was fairly playable without issues. So there you go. The breakout game from Choice Provisions that everybody was excited about. Like, this was one of the only games that looked really good on the Amico. Never finished, and will never see the light of day. Never be released. Are you surprised?
Console exclusive.
It's a nothing exclusive. It was a never existed exclusive. I got the demo. It was not great. It seemed overcrowded. For Breakout, there was way too much shit going on. It was sideways, which I really didn't like. It's crazy.
I mean, dude, I really think that he watched. I really think Tommy watched a fucking episode of Gaming Historian about what's his name? Satori Iwata. If I'm saying that right.
The Nintendo guy?
Yeah, the CEO that passed away a while back. One of Gaming Historian's videos is about him and the Wii, all his work on the Wii. And I think he watched that video. Like so many things that he was saying around then, when they were releasing, is like he's parroting what Norm is saying on the documentary about the way the CEO approached the Wii. And it's like he would have watched that documentary and was like, we got to do that. We got to make something that's going to appeal to everybody like the Wii. Well, and he just obviously couldn't fucking do it.
Let me cut you off right there, Trevor, because obviously you're not familiar with Tommy and his claim that he worked hand in hand with Shigeru Miyamoto in developing the Wii.
No. I may have saw, a screenshot of something from like Atari Age on something like that where he made a claim or something. I seem to remember something like that, but no, not really.
In the video that he made, the 50-minute video that he made, the private video that he shared everywhere, addressing Pat and Ian, he says that he helped. He was working on the Wii with Shigeru Miyamoto. He didn't say I was working on a game for the Wii. He didn't say we worked on. He said I worked on the Wii with Shigeru Miyamoto. So you think I don't know what I'm talking about?
Didn't someone like even get a comment from Miyamoto himself? Like, who's that?
No.
Miyamoto
barely speaks English. Hey, I'm not saying that to be a dick, but no, Miyamoto doesn't speak English.
Right. Yeah. Fair point.
And the only thing he's ever said in regards to Tommy was a long time ago. He said that Tommy's work was shitty on the Metroid Prime teaser trailer.
Wait, did he really?
Yes. Okay. So
Holy shit.
In 2001, they were going to Space World. That was the name of like the convention over there.
Yeah.
And Tommy had been contracted through what the hell is it? Retro. We're the ones that did Banjo Kazooie.
Fuck, I don't remember. I never was a Banjo and Kazooie person.
Either way, whoever
Was that Rare?
Yeah, Rare was the one. They had contracted Tommy as an outside person to do the sound effects, not the music, the sound effects for Metroid Prime. They weren't ready to go, but they showed the little teaser trailer anyway because like it's a big game. They had to show something, right? And the reason they weren't going to show it is, and Miyamoto stated that the sound effects were subpar and that it wasn't up to standards. And immediately afterward is why they had Rare stop working on the other games and then dedicate their time to Metroid Prime. And at that point, Tommy had got his contract not renewed, and I'm doing air quotes here.
Right.
So basically, you know, if you read in between the lines, the work that Tommy provided was not up to the standards that Miyamoto wanted for the game.
Subpar. Wow.
Because again, they were threatening to not even show the game because of the sound effects. He watched that video and invented a whole backstory about how they were good friends and worked on many games together and drank together. Tommy is best friends with everybody. Yeah. But
maybe that's how Miyamoto broke him the news. Like, look, your work's kind of shit. Drink this sake.
Just over some sake.
We're not gonna keep working with you.
But it's funny because he didn't even work directly with Miyamoto. Miyamoto was in Japan at the time, and Rare and them were over here working on that. And it's funny because Tommy talks about the game. He's like, yeah, I worked on Metroid Prime for 6 years. And he gives a date. And the game development like didn't even start until like a year later from what Tommy was claiming. Tommy was basically claiming that for a year, him and Miyamoto were working on the game prior to anyone even knowing the game existed, essentially.
Right.
You know, they're that tight. And the only other Amico news we got this week is someone put this up. Lies spread in 2021 to capitalize on the FOMO. As you can see, the box edition game says the allocation of pre-sale limited edition have been going extremely well. We are almost sold out. Remember that? Almost sold out. However, our European fans have indicated that they'd like a bit more information about the sale. WePC says last week Amico launched and quickly sold out physical box copies of the first batch of games. DJC says get them before they sell out. This is amazing. You better get them. You better get on there now. Get on your keyboards in order because they're going to be gone. Limited collector's editions will not be reprinted. I'm pretty sure they might be sold out. Get yours now. I recommend getting the 8-pack. Unbelievable, man. Last opportunity. This was in an email. As our initial allocation is nearly sold out. Last opportunity as supplies are limited. You can go 2 years later and Intellivision still has all the sets up for sale.
So wait, one thing I still never got out of this. Because I don't even think Tommy understood my question in the interview. And I never followed up and looked to see. So the physical editions of the game, what is it? Is it a cartridge? Is it an SD card? What is it? Is it just like a fucking amiibo? Like, what the fuck is it?
It's literally, like a hotel key card that has a little RFID on it.
Yeah, so like it's an amiibo.
Yeah, but at least an amiibo, it looks like something. This is literally just a thin piece of plastic, like a card. It's a card, like a credit card shaped object.
Right.
That's it.
And it just takes the place of the redeem code.
No, right now, if you scan them with an RFID reader, all that comes up is the website. that says, "Thank you for purchasing the RFID
Hmm.
game." Tommy claimed in the interview with DJ Slopes that there was proprietary safeguards on there that no one knew about. He couldn't talk about, but there's literally no other information on the cards. Literally, just the website URL. But you also get a coin, and so there's that, and a lenticular card. So
Wasn't he saying some shit about what's the digital art shit? What are they called
NFTs?
again? Didn't he say every game was gonna have an NFT at one point too?
Yeah, they're supposed to be NFTs. They're not on the blockchain. There's no blockchain. They don't have a blockchain.
Yeah.
What probably happened is he meant NFC. They're near field communication. That NFT, and then instead of just taking it back and be like, "Oh shit, I mistyped," right? He just went with it and was like, "Hey, they're all NFTs now." Oh, also the boxes are recyclable. They're collector's editions, but the boxes are made of recyclable material, so they're biodegradable and they'll be destroyed in 10 years. They'll break down.
This fucking dude, man, like nothing he did made fucking sense. Like,
Oh, it made lots of sense. He wanted money.
They're elitist. They're racist. Who the retro gamers? Yeah, they're all like elitist.
They're
Proceeds
literally
to fucking
racist.
proceeds
Game
to fucking make his boxes based solely on appealing to the fucking elitists that he just called racist. Okay, buddy.
Well, the only audience he had.
You think the fucking the 6-year-olds he said were running to his controllers in the test lab or whatever are fucking worried about these fucking retro looking physical games?
Let me ask you this: do you actually think those things actually happened?
No. That's
There
just
was no test.
because I asked him, the way I fucking caught him on it was I said, well, okay, you're did you ever use a phone? You know what I'm saying? Like his fucking control. He's saying, we did a PS4 controller, we did a Switch controller, an Xbox One controller, and an Amico controller, and they always ran to ours. I was like, yeah, well, yours has a screen on it. Did you ever put an iPhone?
Here's the thing.
I just didn't mention it for some fucking reason.
Well, here's the thing, and none of it ever made sense, and that whole thing that he would present doesn't make sense for several reasons. First off, if I walked into a room, right, and there was just controllers lined up, he's like, pick one. I'd be like, what are we playing? There's obviously several different controllers here, right? Is there a system on? Right? There's no system. It's just controllers. Why am I going to pick up anything other than the one with the screen, like you said, right? That's the only one that looks like it could do something. A PS5 controller can't do anything by itself. A PS4, an Xbox controller, right? Without a machine or a TV in the room, right?
Yeah, it's not a fucking toy that you can get any real enjoyment out of, like just on its own.
So there, right? Just in that is dumb. Doesn't make any sense. Secondly, we know they didn't do anything because they didn't even have controllers ready. They didn't have anything printed out.
Right?
They didn't have anything created. When he was saying that they were doing all this market research, they still hadn't even got the console finalized. So what was he marketing researching on? On an idea? Hey, if I showed you 6 controllers, which one would you like? Here are renders, CG renders of all the controllers. Pick one. And thirdly, even if, let's say that this was a real thing that happened, right? If I was a child that is familiar with these things, I would probably want to know what was the one that I don't know, right? Well, I know that's a PS5 controller. I know that's a Switch controller. What's that thing? That thing's new, right? You could literally put anything that's different from the rest of them, and the child 9 times out of 10 will be like, oh, I wonder what that is, right? Like if you put a dinosaur, if you put all the controllers and then a dinosaur, they'd probably pick the dinosaur, right? Oh shit, that's
he was talking about a 6-7-year-old fucking panel of kids, like all 6 and 7-year-old. That's what his scenario he came up with was.
It all made sense in his own head. It's just the rest of the world that doesn't get it. Yeah, I think he's just lying. I think a lot of things that Tommy said were 100% just lies to try to get you to shut up. Like, shut up, I want to make my stupid vanity console, and you guys are busting my bubble. Right? Don't burst his bubble. So we got a lot of it's going to be another year before the lawsuit with the furniture company gets finalized. There were 2 games that had trailers on YouTube, guys. Don't believe it. If you see a brand new YouTube channel pop up and put a game trailer on, it's probably not real. So, yeah, but there you go. That's the only Amico news. Tommy played for the New York Yankees and also wrestled for AEW. Yeah, it's true. Did you hear about that one?
No.
Yeah, Tommy was claiming that he was a New York Yankees Hall of Famer.
Wow, dude, just like habitual liar.
Yes and no. What happened was New York Yankees had a fantasy camp, and if you went to the fantasy camp 5 times, they would give you a fantasy camp Hall of Fame ring, right? So he just left off the fantasy camp part of it.
Right.
So I mean, it was a lie, but it wasn't just like a complete lie, right? Like there was a basis for his lie. Instead of just being like, and he would tell stories about how he used to hang out with the New York Yankees and stuff. And it was just turned out like, no, Tommy, you went to a fantasy camp and paid money. That's why they were there.
Yeah. I mean, I knew there'd be a catch like that. Like, it's just par for the course for Tommy.
Yeah. And there's people to this day. Dave,
you're lucky when he puts a nugget of truth in his lies.
Yeah, David Jaffe to this day is like, oh, Tommy's a good dude. Tommy just got in over his head, guys. You don't understand.
Part of me believes that, but like, part of me believes he wanted to release a good product. He wanted it to do well, whatever. But
everyone wants to make money. Obviously,
with all the conscious lies he was fucking saying, every time he'd get on an interview that had the slightest fucking question, he's just making shit up fucking whole cloth. Like, I don't even know, just as like a dick measuring contest, just like to save some face. Like, dude, you're not God. You don't have to be fucking perfect. Like, just say you don't know or you don't have an answer for that and move on. Like, you don't have to fucking lie and be some fake fuck.
But then the haters would win. Do you understand that? The haters can't win. You can't let the haters win. Right. Tommy was just crazy. And I'd never met somebody who lied as much as Tommy and got away with it for so long. The fact that people in the industry, people who knew that this guy was full of shit, somehow let him keep saying things that they knew were just not true. It's not true. So,
what is this that Justy Views is talking about? That Nick, I don't know if that's Richards or Richard. I'm a Cajun, so
Richards says, nah, top loaded. They never intended to make the console. They thought they'd sell the idea. Nick Richards admits it on Tony's interview. When I interviewed Nick Richards, he was the CFO at the time. I don't know if he's still the CFO. He might be. But he basically was like, yeah, that they're looking to eventually sell it to a bigger company. And in one of their investor pitch meetings things, they had a little like, there was a leak that came out of like their investor pitch. And basically they were like, look at these companies like Disney or Microsoft or Apple or one of these other companies will want to buy us out because we're such a good product. So there it is been theorized mostly by me. I'm the one who came up with this theory, but that Tommy and them basically did everything they could to make the company look bigger and more desirable than it actually was in order to sell it to a bigger company.
So
like,
they just wanted to do the startup thing and then sell out.
Yeah, because Tommy would do a lot of stuff like we'd point, he go, look, we ain't got no dislikes on our YouTube video, or look at all these people on Atari Age talking about us. And he hired a bunch of developers to start work on games, right? And I think his idea was we're going to get a bunch of stuff happening. Look at all these offices and be like, oh man, if only we had an extra $20 million, Apple, then we could really get this thing. Look, everybody wants it, right? So could you imagine we're standing to make 10 million off of this, this console, but we can only make, 10,000 units.
I mean, if Tommy wouldn't have made himself the face of it the way he did, who knows where we'd be right now?
Well, we know that at one point,
They might have succeeded in selling it, is I guess what I'm saying.
DreamWorks wanted to buy it, but they just didn't have anything that they could sell to them. I'm pretty sure it was DreamWorks or their parent company of DreamWorks that was like, we'll buy the idea, but we're just not going to make a console. And then they turned them down. Which to me means they probably didn't have anything that they could actually sell. They didn't have anything tangible, right? Like if DreamWorks is like, hey, we'll give you a shit ton of money for all your IPs and your games, and we could just put them on other consoles. The only reason to turn that down is when you didn't actually have any games finished, right?
So what time frame would that offer have come in about? Do you know?
I want to say it was like 2021-ish. Because right now we're seeing right now with the Breakout game, everyone assumed it was finished, right? They're saying the choice provision saying no, it was never finished. We got Bomb Squad, never finished. Some of the games they showed off didn't even exist. Tommy was talking about they're going to have Toe Jam and Earl. There was no Toe Jam and Earl game ever being made for the Amico. It was never got past the that sounds like a good idea. Let's start working up some ideas phase.
Right.
So I think the company was interested and they're like, oh yeah, it sounds good. Like you say, you got all these games and everything, right? Like we'll take all that and we'll see if we can make some money off of it. And if they didn't sell it, the only reason I could think that they wouldn't sell it, because obviously here we are in 2023 with nothing come out, is that they didn't actually have anything that they could sell. Right? When it came down to it, they're probably like, okay, well, what do we got finished? Like, nothing. Oh, well, I'm not giving you no money for nothing. What the fuck?
Right.
So, Tommy also said in many interviews that they need to hit certain milestones to sell the company. Yeah. He said a couple times he's looking to go to be a public IPO, and maybe they'll be big enough that another company will buy them out. So,
the deliberate hostile takeover.
Yeah. Tommy got yeeted from the company. They got nothing. It's coming out on mobile games or mobile platforms eventually, supposedly.
Which is ironically what a lot of people said they should have done from the get-go if they were going to do anything, just release mobile games.
Yeah, just release the software. But I don't even think they...
Everybody's already got phones, so just...
Blizzard, do you have phones? Do you not have phones? I don't think... again, they sold off Astro Smash, Shark, right? I don't think they have anything finished. Because again, this announcement was like at the beginning of the year or a couple months ago. Now, we've heard nothing as far as what's going on with that. Secondly, BBG, who bought Astro Smash and Shark, they did the trademark in February. The announcement didn't come until like June. So to me, that sounds like the deal was finalized in February. Then BBG had to finish up the games in order to release them. And they still haven't released them yet, right? Because I know some behind the scenes stuff, so it's they're still doing a little tweaking on some things. So to me, again, they never had anything done. Nothing was ever finished or finalized that they could release. And I think they're still at that point. I think John Alvarado or whoever's there volunteering is trying to finish up one or two games that they could put as a complete package and then release it. Like, see, guys, we released something. Or they're running out the clock before they get sued. It's the only thing I could think of. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. But yeah, that's the Amico news for the week. Hope you enjoyed it. All right. Gotta talk about the Dolphin emulator. Have you heard about this?
I took a little cursory glance over it.
Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Basically, the team behind the Dolphin Nintendo emulator wanted to put it up on Steam. Now, initially, everybody believed that Nintendo had put a DMCA, that they strong arm Steam into taking it down. There is a lot of legal gray area. I know people don't want to understand, but there is legal gray area as to whether or not the emulator itself is legal. There's lawyers who do this stuff on YouTube and make videos that can explain it way better than I can. Just trust me. When I say just trust me, bro, it's not as clear cut as people think it is, right? But it turns out, actually, what had happened was Steam contacted Nintendo. Steam was like, hey, is it okay if we put this emulator on the store? Oh, no, you don't want us to? Oh, okay. So that's what happened. So this is what the hell
it would have taken a miracle for. I don't know. What does it take for Nintendo to partner up with you? You know,
Nintendo's never going to partner up on some like emulator or anything. And I think especially since CDI, ever since that fiasco, I think they've like turtled up as far as partnering up with other people on.
Yeah, but didn't they use like what system was it? Didn't they use an actual? I don't remember if it was like actual ROMs that everybody's just sharing around, or if it was an emulator. Didn't they do something like that with the Wii or the Wii U?
I think they got an emulator on the Wii and on the Switch in order to play the older games.
No, I mean like one that was like you remember when Retron?
Yeah, they never teamed up with any
the actual fucking I don't remember which emulator it was, but they had the actual fucking emulator. I don't remember which one it was. I thought Nintendo did something similar.
No. I don't think the Nintendo Mini's like the only thing that would even be close to that. They've never licensed out their name or any of their emulators, as far as I know. It says Dolphin, a piece of software that can emulate GameCube and Wii games, is no longer coming to Steam. It was initially announced for Steam in March of this year before being pulled from the storefront shortly thereafter. After working with a lawyer, the Dolphin team has released a statement explaining what happened. Initially, it is believed that Nintendo might have sent Valve a DMCA takedown notice requesting the Dolphin emulator be pulled from the storefront. However, the Dolphin team explains this isn't exactly what happened. What actually happened was that Valve's legal department contacted Nintendo to inquire about the announced release of Dolphin emulator on Steam. The team went on to explain that Nintendo apparently requested that Valve prevent the Dolphin emulator from launching on Steam, citing the DMCA as justification. The team was told by Valve that it had to come to an agreement with Nintendo in order to launch a Dolphin emulator on the platform. Since Steam is Valve's storefront, the company can set whatever restriction it wants. With that in mind, the Dolphin team said, given Nintendo's long-held stance on emulation, we find Valve's requirement for us to get approval from Nintendo for a Steam release to be impossible. As such, the team is halting plans to release Dolphin on Steam. Despite this, the Dolphin emulator isn't in any danger of shutting down entirely. According to the Dolphin team, the only request made from Nintendo was for Valve to prevent the emulator from launching on Steam. The Dolphin team will still continue to work on the emulator and even has plans to release a big picture graphical interface that can be used with the controller. So there you go.
Wait, so what was the purpose of this thing supposed to be? Like, what are you going to do with the emulator if you don't have the games? Like, obviously, Nintendo's never going to allow the games to just be
Well, the ROMs are out there. You can find them. That's
I
you're
know
supposed to
that. So I
find
mean,
them.
if you can just use the same ROMs with this emulator, which I assume you can, it's just the Dolphin emulator, like
Yeah.
unaltered. Why would Nintendo ever agree to something like that? Like that was never ever gonna happen.
Right. Well, that's what they said. They said Nintendo's never going to agree to this. That's why we're not putting it on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they wanted it on Steam because of the Steam Deck, because it would be real easy, right? If it's on Steam's storefront, just download it onto your Steam Deck, pop in some ROMs, and away you go on Steam Deck.
Right.
We on the go. But I mean, I think you could still get it, but you'd have to. There's like a lot of hoops that you got to jump through, more than I'm willing to do, more than a lot of people would be willing to do, right? There you go. A lot of people were saying Nintendo's evil. Evil Nintendo shut them down. Yeah, but there's also kind of Valve. And Nintendo's not suing them, despite what people thought. So it still exists. It's still out there. Yeah.
I mean, they got to do what they got to do to fucking protect their IPs. I mean, do I find it annoying when they'll like shut down someone that's like, making a ROM hack or a remake or something? Yeah, I find it's kind of annoying, but when like they shut down another Metroid remake, they were literally remaking that same Metroid game that guy was doing.
Well, that's
So
part of.
how can you hold that against fucking Nintendo?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: ROM hacks. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, no, it's not a big deal. They should just let them go through." I think it's bad. I think it's really dumb. I think ROM hacks are 100% illegal, right? Could you imagine?
Like, what are we defining as ROM hacks, though? Like, if someone takes Mario and just makes him naked, is that
Well, that would be a
in your
mod, right?
definition?
It is technically, I guess, a ROM hack, right? But I mean, that would be the equivalent of just getting a book and just changing all of that. Like, let's say I got fucking War and Peace and I just changed the main character's name to Tony. Right? That'd be the equivalent of changing Mario's clothes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what your sort of definition is versus like someone taking Castlevania 3 and just, you know, completely different levels, different bosses, different puzzles or things to figure out.
Yeah, well, that would be the equivalent of taking your character from the book and then putting him into a new book, right? And you can't do that. I can't take Spider-Man and then be like, well, this is an original story that Spider-Man's on an island where he's fighting giant crab monsters. Like, yeah, but it's still Spider-Man, and you don't own Spider-Man, so you can't have a Spider-Man story fighting giant crab monsters on an island, right? It's the same thing. Like, yeah, you created all this other stuff, or you rearranged the levels, but at the heart of it, you don't own any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, it's fun, and I understand, but where me personally, if you're doing that and you're just like, here you go for free, right? Like, here's a thing I did. Like, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, Nintendo probably should just turn a blind eye to that. Like, oh, I didn't know it existed. But when you're like start charging people money, that's when I think, like, no, you're obviously. I think that's no bueno.
I don't know. I just think, if the person is not charging money for the game, like I don't really see the issue.
But that's
But
what I said. I said if they're not charging money, then
yeah, right.
But part of the problem, and what a lot of people don't understand, is part of the issue is when Nintendo does know about things because of the way the law is, they're almost required to do something, right? Because if Nintendo doesn't, then you could cite precedent and be like, well, see, Nintendo has abandoned the NES
Yeah, it's
Mario.
funny. It works out the same way as like a drug dealer that gets somebody steals something from him. Well, I gotta kill this dude because everybody's gonna think they can come get our shit for free.
It's like I don't want to kill anybody, but I mean, if I don't, then other people are going to steal from me, and no, I got a whole
Yeah,
problem.
no, but for sure, it's pretty much the same fucking thing.
They're like, but dude, can't you just break his arm? Yeah, but that doesn't send a strong enough message. So
I
you
gotta
just cut
sue
it.
this guy into oblivion if he doesn't back down.
So you're just cutting people's heads off and sending them to their families, like the cartels.
But some of them fucking go stupid. Like I had a buddy that died in a car wreck, and he was a big wrestling fan, and his mom just wanted to fucking put like she wasn't trying to put like fucking Hulk Hogan or something on his little tombstone header thing, right?
Yeah.
But just like a generic guy with like wrestling trunks on. And the only fucking thing they could do for her was put like some stock fucking image of like uh uh what are they called? The what is it, Greco like wrestling or whatever, like
The
the
Greco-Roman wrestling.
yes. That was it. That's all they would fucking do for her. Cause like
So like Kurt Angle.
I mean I guess, but nowhere near like that. More looked like fucking
Why are there two naked guys on your son's tombstone? Well, let me tell you, he was a big fan of wrestling. That's how they did it in the old days. Haunted Wiz says the NES Mini had a pirated version of Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, I heard about that. Apparently, they got ROMs off the internet and Nintendo.
Maybe that's what I remember hearing. I just remembered it was something. I really thought though that the versions they had on the Wii, the ROMs were some of the same fucking versions that were online.
Yeah, that was it too.
Oh, okay. All
But
right.
their justification was, well, we own the IP, so it doesn't matter if we're taking ROMs from the internet because it's ours anyway. I don't think that's how that works either, but yeah. I will say way back when I was a wee lad of 18, I did pirate a bunch of stuff, and I did
Probably
have
around 1998, 99, something like that. Or no, more like the early 2000s, huh?
no, like 1999, 2000.
Okay. Yeah, that was around the first time I played an emulator. Was 98.
And I had I had the Nintendo, and I had like a Game Boy emulator stuff. I don't think I never went past like Super Nintendo. It was like that was it.
I was always iffy on them because I could turn on a Nintendo and beat Mike Tyson anytime, but the second I would play it on an emulator, it was like, no, the timing's not right. Fuck this. I'm gonna just play on the Nintendo.
My justification was I had moved, and my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo were by my parents' house, and I was like, well, I mean, technically I own these, so.
Oh, does that make it right? You still stole.
It doesn't. I still stole. I did. I agree. That's why I said my justification. And it was a gateway. It was a gateway because you'd start off like, well, I own Super Mario, so I'll play that. And they're like, well, what's this game? Well, I've never played this one. Well, let me try that game out. And pretty soon, I was out there pirating.
I can't count how many times I've bought Super Mario 1, 2, 3, Super Mario All-Stars. I've bought those games so many different times in life.
But not no more. I don't pirate anymore. I seen what happens. Those big Nintendo executives, they want to get horses for their kids, and they got to settle for ponies because I pirated Super Mario Brothers. Sorry, Miyamoto. I know you're disappointed in me.
Yeah, he'll send you a bottle of sake.
Tony's so full of shit. He's probably plundering and pillaging booty left and right. Booty, yes, not pirated ROMs. I would never go to Vim's lair. I would never ever get anything from Vim's lair. Definitely don't go there. Definitely avoid that site if you want to be a good non-pirate like me. That's all I'm saying.
So it's how do you spell that?
Definitely do not go to vimm.net. Definitely do not go there. Because they definitely do not have all the ROMs for the Nintendo, Master System, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Saturn, PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, 360, PS3, Wii, and WiiWare. And the Game Boy Color, Virtual Boy, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and the PS Portable. Definitely don't want to go there at all. Ever.
Disavow.
I disavow the links to the emulators and to the ROMs on that site.
You will find no BIOS in my hard drive.
No, you won't. There's a new computer, so you definitely won't. We see right through you, Frog. No. I'm definitely being 100% honest and not facetious in the least bit. Piracy is lame, bro. Want to discuss it at our youth group later? No. I do not go to youth groups. All right, last bit of news for the week. Have you seen this? PlayStation Project Q leaks. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, I took a look at the video earlier.
Just looking at it, would this be something that you would get?
Not if it's remote play.
I believe it is. I believe it is remote play.
Yeah, then no. Every
But
time
even if it wasn't,
any sort of remote play comes in, there's always some kind of fucking lag.
I just the way it looks, even if this wasn't remote play, I don't think I would.
It kind of looks janky.
Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable though. Like I can't see myself sitting in a chair. Like the Switch is straight. It's got nice like where you hand placement. Like this is like fanned out. It looks uncomfortable.
It looks like a fan fiction of what someone would think it would be.
Yeah, it's like someone cut a fucking PS5 controller in half and then just glued them onto the edges of the tablet. That's what it looks like. Like, and I don't understand why have a touchscreen if you have the dual analog sticks and everything is built in, right? It's like one or the other. Like you don't need touchscreen.
Well, I was looking at it earlier. Like, what happened to the other tabs? You see, like on the top left, they have that green tab for like I guess the screen protector, and then on the right, they have the blue.
Yeah.
But if you scroll back to the beginning, well, look, they have a purple one there on the left. But no, when they have the wood grain behind it.
Okay.
See, there's like one on the screen, yellow. There's yellow on the right, the yellow on the left, red, green. Where's the blue at?
I think that might be a different one.
Are missing.
Yeah. Maybe that's after.
All right, maybe.
Because it looks like he tried to reapply the thing because you could see the air bubbles.
Well, let's see if the air bubbles match up. No, they don't. Okay. All right.
It's got Android on it. Did you see that?
No, I didn't notice. I noticed everything seems to be in Japan,
Right
Japanese.
That's the Android. That's weird though, because like this, certain things are Japanese characters or at least Asian characters, and some of it looks like English characters.
So could this be faked?
It could. Like, see, like this, I think it says Wi-Fi link. Like, it is weird that you would have a mix, right?
Yeah.
A DC test app, that's definitely in English. Like, why would some of it be in English and some of it be in Japanese? Hardware test. That looks like a little Android guy, almost. I don't know. Could be faked. Could be real.
So, okay, but is this the actual planned version of it, or is it like, a developer version?
It could be a developer version. Show the picture where it looks like someone splooged on the screen. I haven't seen that one. I don't think that's in there. Don't worry, I already banned Tony from Sega Palace. He ain't getting any Sega ROMs. I don't know. Finbar says, don't go to any of the following sites. Vim's Lair, Emu Paradise, ROM's Game, Emulator ROMs, Retrotastic, or any other site that you can easily Google. Don't do it. Yeah. Didn't Emu Paradise get shut down?
I remember a few of them got shut down.
Yeah. Would I pirate Amico games? If that was the only way I could play them, yes. I definitely 100%. Seeing as I got 8, actually 9, I have 9 box games that are not worth anything. Yes.
Wait, you have 9 boxed Amico games?
Yeah, well, I have the 8-pack of the Amico games they sold, and then I got one. I won one off of Gen X Gamer.
Really?
Yeah. So I got 2 copies of I think
Shit.
Finnegan Fox.
Fucking sealed. That's gonna be worth some money one day.
Oh, they're not sealed.
Oh, you opened them?
They don't have plastic on them.
Oh,
They weren't.
really?
There was plastic on the whole thing, but like the individual boxes don't have plastic on them, and they don't stay.
What
cool
about
with
the single game that you got?
No, though that was he had to take it out of the 8-pack to send it. They were only selling it
Oh,
4 and 8 packs.
oh, okay.
Also, don't
Oh,
go to
damn! I
Meatspin.
thought I remembered included footage of them like shrink wrapping individual games.
Maybe they're shrink. I don't know. You know what they might be. I'm looking at them and I can't tell.
Yeah,
I'm too lazy to get up and walk the 6 feet.
I wouldn't mind getting my hand on like one of them just to say like, yeah, I kind of was a part of that fucking thing, and here's a little memento from it. Like,
now I have to get up. I'm gonna get up and find out. I'll let you guys know. Give me one
okay,
second.
good deal. I want to say I really want to say I remember putting footage in one of my videos that they were individually shrink wrapping some of them. I'm kind of looking. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
hold on.
they do have individual plastic, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm looking back on one of my videos right now, and yeah.
Now, I got off my ass, Sweet Tender. They have individual. So I have 9 individually wrapped games, 2 Finnegan Foxes.
Nice. See, all sealed.
Sealed. I'm going to get them water graded.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could send that one because I got an extra Finnegan Fox. Get it water graded. I don't know how much that would cost.
I'm not sure.
Let's
The only
watch
things
the
I
rest.
have graded are like Walking Dead comics.
I don't have anything graded. That looks weird to me.
It's just the protective shit.
No, I'm saying the way the screen.
Oh,
this
yeah.
isn't connected to the.
Yeah, the design looks weird as fuck.
Like it's hard to tell. Is this a hole or black? Because it almost looks like I said, like something's like.
It looks like it would just be a gap to me.
Yeah.
Like you could just drop shit in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that a charger right there in the middle, maybe? Is that like a USB-C port?
I don't think so.
Like, look, back it up just a little bit. Right there.
I think that's just glare.
No, not there. Go to the left.
There?
No. No.
Left?
Where the original hole. Go back to that hole. Oh, shit. The frame you were on was good, but keep going forward. All right. So go back to.
Damn it.
Right there. Okay. Leave it there.
This hole?
Not that. Just to the left. A tiny bit to the left in the hole that we're talking about. Right there.
Here?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Looks like it would be a little port or something.
It's hard to tell. It looks like there might be a line to indicate a port, but at the same
like
time,
it looks like there would be like a headphone jack on the left and then a USB-C on the spot I pointed to. Or something, some kind of port. I don't know. It looks like 2 holes to me.
And that is a memory stick. Pro dual slot.
But it might be pixelated on my end. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a very good video.
It could be bits of plastic sticking up. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, like even here, like this looks like there's 2 holes here, but I don't even know why there would be holes. Right?
Yeah, that's weird. Like dual SD card slots. What?
So there it is. Like I said, personally, even if this thing was not fucking remote play, it doesn't look comfortable.
What
The
is
way
that? Why are the why is it set up like that?
I think one of the other images shows him taking it apart, or it shows it opened up. So I think he took the sticks out.
Oh, but isn't it backwards? Shouldn't the D-pad be on the other side?
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's the left-handed version. Maybe he took these off. No, because even that doesn't make sense. Fuck if I know. That's a good point.
I
The
think that
Japanese version.
I think that maybe implies it might be fake. Like, I mean, if somebody was able to make the controller part, all they would need is a tablet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if it ends up being completely fake, I mean, it's
a good fake.
It's a good fake.
Yeah, but you're right. That should be those should be swamped.
And it's completely different colors.
That could be the lighting.
Yeah, maybe.
Weird. It's a good point. Good catch. I didn't catch that. That's why you're here. It makes hiring you all worth it.
Good to be of use.
There's another image. Hold on. You see, he got everything snapped off.
Okay.
This is on the correct side now. But
yeah, maybe there would be some tech guys that would know what's going on with this, but not I.
Also not I. But again, that looks like the same table, so I don't know why the one was flopped.
Let's go back to the original picture. Is that the same table? Maybe the lighting's different. It's just the wood grain looked a little different.
Sitting here analyzing. Yeah, it is a different.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter.
And maybe that one picture is just fake, and everything else is real, and they just included it in there because they didn't realize it.
Who knows, man? All I know is if it's remote play, they can lick my nuts because I'm not getting it. I mean, what the fuck am I? I don't even have a PlayStation 5 yet, so.
Well, here, Frankie B on the Twitters says, "Save yourself and buy a backbone and remote play anywhere, man. The design is awful." So there you go. You just put your phone in there.
Yeah, that's why I'm like so reluctant to believe this stuff is because like stuff like that exists. So can someone just like, you know, take apart a PlayStation 5 controller and make a fake demo like that? I don't know.
Well, Sony showed off the thing already, and that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. So then I'm just making a fucking big deal out of nothing.
I mean, someone could theoretically still make a version of it, like, "Oh, look, we found it's in the wild," right? But Sony did basically show off the controller or whatever the hell, Project Q. So there you go. I'm not excited for this. I'm a huge Sony fan, and I would not buy this. I was already burned on the damn PSP. I thought that thing was awesome. And then for
I mean, I tell you, I would love to fucking have Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, like, be able to play that completely portably. That would be amazing, but I don't know, man. Like, when did GTA 5 originally come out, and it still hasn't happened yet, so...
I still haven't played GTA 5.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier in the show, dude, I love my fucking open world games. Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5. I love all that shit.
56 says, "How did you get burned with the PSP? PSP game library was insane." I got burned because they fucking went to the PS Vita and no backwards. Sony was known at the time, right, for backwards compatibility, and they went with these damn UMDs for the PlayStation Portable, and then when they went to the fucking PS Vita, they went to a different format and was not happy. And I think what was like a year and a half. The life cycle of the PSP wasn't that long. Yeah, let me look it up.
I mean, to be realistic, the only reason to get a PSP is to make it a retro emulator device.
Oh, it's $249. I still have mine. I got a nice Avengers skin on it.
Well, before the storm, I had the Darth Vader one. What was it from Battlefront 2? Was it or 1? I don't remember. And I had the Metal Gear Solid one and a black one, and I had a few of them.
I think I have the original, the 1000, the PSP 1000 version, not the Go and not the 3000. With the little nub. And the bigger, longer one.
I think the only one that survived the storm was the Star Wars one.
Oof. Sony did something right, then Sony went dumb. That's what I'm saying. That's why. Those UMDs were cool. No, they weren't. All right. So,
when the Vita was coming out, I was expecting them to be like, we didn't make a place for the UMDs, but if you take just the disc out, well, we have the CD drive. And then everybody would have to start breaking their games. Like, choose. Either play just the disc on the Vita or keep playing it on your PSP.
Right.
But they didn't do that.
I did like, though, at one point they were giving you the both versions. Like, if you bought the PS4 version of a game and it was on PSP, they would give you both.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had got a Vita the day it came out.
I never got the Vita. Maybe one day. One day, one of you guys can send me a Vita. Just let me know.
I just play fucking Symphony of Night on the Vita.
Just so I can have one. Donate it to the Tony Museum, to the Frog Museum. I need a Vita.
Bro, go to Goodwill.
No.
Go to like 3 different Goodwills, you'll find a Vita for like $5.
You hear that? One of you guys can go to Goodwill and find a Vita and then send it to me. Obviously, you'll pay for shipping and handling to the humble Frog Museum. And there it is. I'm here with a box full of Vita games. I'm too lazy. Just send them to me. I'll send you my address. You just ship them out. I need to get a P.O. box so you guys can send me stuff.
What a shill.
We're going to be big time.
What an e-bagger.
Don't forget to buy my merch. Go to the merch store and buy some merch. We got mugs. We got the mouse pads. We got mousy pads. And we got, I think there's a phone case. So it's a really crappy t-shirt that I don't think anybody would ever want to buy, but you could be one. Yeah, 56K1 is the only guy who bought a mug. Yeah, so come on. Buy some merch. Put my kid through college. All right.
Yeah, do it.
We got to talk about the polls, baby. We got some polls. First off, I'm still working on some reviews for the week. I put up the Bat Boy review today. So check that out if you haven't. Probably tomorrow I'll be popping up the Solvars review. And then 1980X is probably going to go up sometime next week. That's what I've been working on as far as.
Is that like one of the Capcom shooters?
No, it's I think they're Norwegian. Icelandic. It's a game about a kid who grew up in 1980s
Oh, okay.
And they got like a bunch of knockoff games. Like he goes to an arcade and he's like enthralled with the arcade, and through the arcade and the games they tell a story of the kid like coming of age type thing.
I got you.
It's weird. But there you go. Okay, so 4 days ago, 84 of you voted. I said, should Atari buy the Intellivision brand and put out a special edition VCS? 84 votes, 60% said yes, 40% said no. Now, what do you think, Trevor? You think Atari should go ahead and just try to buy out Intellivision?
I think Nintendo should buy out both of them instead.
I don't think
So I
that's
guess that
ever
would be a no.
I do. I think Tommy's out, so he's not getting a win. I think this would be the ultimate kick in the balls for Tommy. To not only did he lose the,
Well, that's
the
true because
console war,
he was bad mouthing Atari, right? Like treating them like a joke and
he called him a scam at one point.
yeah, that's right.
He's like, they're scammers, and that's why they're on Indiegogo. They're not like us. We don't need crowdfunding money. We have a console. It's coming out. Is Atari even coming out? We're going to kick their ass. I hope it does come out so I can kick their ass in the console wars. Then look what happened. So I think this would be the ultimate, like, final nail in the coffin. Like, not only...
Yeah, right. You sold me.
Boom.
You sold me on it. So
let's
go 61-39.
And again, when I like just buying it would be like one thing, right? Like, okay, they bought it and those games are now on Atari. But could you imagine they put out a special VCS, the Amico edition VCS? So not only did they buy it, but now they're putting out the console you couldn't put out, Tommy, in wood grain. Just twist that knife just a little extra.
And then they would actually make it a foot massager. Or one of what is it? A foot washer?
Foot bath.
Whatever those thing is. Foot bath. That's it.
Yeah. So that's what I want. I want to see that happen. Come on, Atari. You got money. You can do it. Make it happen. All right. In case you missed it, 3 days ago, I was on In Your Head Wrestling. They were talking the wrestling. And they had, the little open panel link. And I popped on for a couple hours. I think I was on there for like 3 or 4 hours with them guys. 1-inch Biceps, who usually in the comments, I think he's on vacation, so he's not here. But we were talking to wrestling.
Y'all just talk old wrestling or like current shit?
They were talking current wrestling. I know they talk old wrestling, but they were going over what happened in the last week of wrestling and lots of tangents, lots of it was a 6.5 hour stream. Lots of tangents, lots of asides. It was a good time. Good time.
Cool.
So, I really do like In Your Head Wrestling. That's the only wrestling podcast I've ever watched. I've been watching it listening to it for the last 11 years. And funny enough, 1-inch Biceps, one of the hosts, he's a fan of the Amico's drama and everything. He comes in here in the chat regularly. And I was like blown away that one of the guys I listen to is now listening to me. And so when I popped on, I've been doing streaming on this channel for, I want to say, at least 2 or 3 years now, right? Doing it for a while. I got on that panel. I was nervous as fuck. Like, I don't know what it was. It was like, oh my God, I'm on the panel with these guys that I know, that I listen to. Like for the last 11 years, I've been listening to these guys. They're like fucking, it's like meeting your heroes, right? Like, oh shit, I'm going to talk wrestling with the guys that talk wrestling that I listen to. I was nervous.
Right,
it was fun.
right.
It was fun. It was a good time. And
God damn, 6 hours? Yeah.
6.5.
I'd say y'all had a fun time.
I didn't get pop on until like an hour, 10 minutes in.
Oh, okay. So 5 hours, 20 minutes. My bad.
No, I left early. So again, I was only there for like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Because eventually I'm like, dude, I got to go to work. I gotta get out of here. Also, the channel. Now, I have not been doing YouTube this long. Okay, I want you to know that. But if you look at the stats on the channel, this channel here started July 17th, 2016. So 7 years this channel has been going. We had our anniversary this week. However, I have not been doing videos on the channel that long. But I will say we have hit over 500,000 views on the channel. Half a million views.
Congrats.
Thank you. And we had our first video pass 30,000 views. By far and away, the most popular anything on this channel, whether it's a video, a short, a live stream. We did a GTA, and it's funny because the video is actually a clip. It's a 5-minute clip from the podcast from way back when. It's like 10 months old. GTA 6 apparently has become really hot, and the video just kind of hit. And right now it's sitting at 31,000 views.
Hell yeah.
And by far and away. It is paid this month's payment from YouTube is probably thanks to that video getting a little traction. So thank you. Fuck GTA. Yeah. I wish the video was longer now so there'd be more ads and we'd make a little bit more money off of it, but beggars can't be choosers. So 3 years ago is when the first video on the channel. It's a 58-second clip of me just saying what the hell this channel is. And then we go from there. And that's how this whole journey started. But segues aside, 3 days ago, I said, would you be okay with physical games going away as an option for new games if digital games were reduced in price by $10? 71 votes. 32% said yes. 68% said no. What do you think, Mr. Top Loaded? There was never, going forward, there's never going to be any physical games ever again. But games were reduced in price to compensate. Would you be okay with this?
Nah, I'd be done.
So, next year, you're going to be done because that's pretty much what's going to happen. Anyway.
I mean, I'm pretty much, like I said, I don't have a PS5, so, I mean, I'm pretty much forced into being done. Yeah. If I'm gonna do digital games, I'm just gonna start playing online games. I started playing Rocket League and fucking Escape from Tarkov. I got my library of games, that exist in the past. I guess that's just gonna be it.
I will still be playing games going forward. Sadly, though, it's going to go digital, but the prices are not going to drop. They're definitely going to stay where they're at. 56 says, how come you don't act like that with Finbar and Blinded? They act like that with me. I'm the guy with the stream that people want to be on, so they get nervous being here with me in that scenario. They're in awe of me, oh, it's the Amico guy. Oh, right? He hates us, and he's also jealous of my success. I'm never jealous of anyone's success. Part of the reason that I do this, right? And I said this before, and I'm old. I'm 42. Okay, guys, I'm not blowing up. Even if I did blow up, I'd be too old to really ride the success, right? But my hope is that the rest of you guys get a little success. Blinded was a young man on the team. Get him a little leg up, his confidence boosted. That's all. Also, I enjoy this. It's fun. Finbar says, I got more views on one of my shitty Fox videos than Tony got on any of his. Animals, I mean, I could have a video showing tits, and it'll probably get more views than anything on this channel, right? Animals, cat videos are going to get you tons of views.
I'm trying to think what would have been my most viewed video. I think it's a video that's on a deleted account.
Finbar says Blinded went on to become a Hollywood success because we gave him the confidence by believing in him and letting him express his ideas here on the show. The funniest thing about the 31,000 view video is most people are shitting on us. They're like, "You guys are fucking dumb. Don't you know how video games are developed? No wonder you guys stay on a shitty channel because you don't understand because it's a GTA 6 leak reaction." And
Yeah.
Gary's like, "This game looks crappy," so everyone's like shitting on Gary really hard in the comments. That guy Gary's dumb. He doesn't understand how development works. So the comments are wild on that video. But hey, a view's a view. I'll take it. Speaking of GTA,
all right, go ahead.
are you excited for GTA 6 as the final poll question of the week? 36% said hell yeah, 29% said nah, 23% said a little bit, and 13% said GTA is whack. Where do you fall on this?
I mean, you should know by now. I'm all about those open world games.
But GTA specifically.
Yeah. I mean, GTA 5 is like one of my favorite open world games. That and Ghost of Tsushima and Red Dead Redemption 2. That's my shit.
I used to love.
Like, they
GTA.
stepped it up with GTA 5, in my opinion. Like, the story was really fucking good. It wasn't like overly satirical to the point where every scene is corny. Like, they had decent voice actors, a really decent story. I fucking loved it.
I have not played GTA 5. I loved Vice City. Vice City was fucking fantastic. And then San Andreas, oh my God. It was even better.
I hated San Andreas.
Loved San Andreas. Fuck yeah. I was excited for the next GTA. And then they let me down. GTA 4, I did not like.
I didn't care for that one either, but
it was like, I was hoping that the next GTA game was going to be more like San Andreas, like more gang shit and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Fucking hip hop culture. That's what I'm a young urban Chicano that can, relate to what's going on. And then like you went to like, oh, this is like some weird like immigrant. And I'm like, oh wow, let's go bowling. Right? They're like, hey, you want to go bowling? What the fuck is this shit? I want to go out there and shoot people and fly around and do all the crazy shit to my favorite hip hop songs.
I need to actually play Vice City. Like, back when I had Vice City, the only thing I ever fucking did was like grab the motorcycle and tried to drive as fast as I could without wrecking, and then put cheats on and fucking try and survive till the army comes out. Like that's a shit idea. I never fucking played the story.
Moonsoon says Vice City is the best
that.
one. Vice City is my second favorite. I still like San Andreas a little better. Yeah. So 56K warning says top loaded. What kind of open world gamer are you?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure what he means. Like, I mean, I really like GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, fucking Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. That was a fucking great open world game. That was like a really fucking good game. Aside from the fucking quick time events, I can't stand quick time events. Lately all the games that have been like autocomplete, quick time events, I always fucking put autocomplete. I can't stand quick time events, but the newest Spider-Man games, I like those. Ghost of Tsushima. I'm trying to think. The Zelda games, the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Elden Ring?
No. See, I'm more. I rather like a theatrical storyline, And what I'm sort of saying theatrical storyline is more like Ghost of Tsushima,
have a story,
Uncharted, 3 and 4. It's gotta have like a serious storyline.
56 says I meant how you play open world games. You a good guy, follow every traffic law, or you go ham and rocket everyone?
I don't know how I would say that. I try for the most part. It depends on which game it is, you know. But like GTA, I'll just whatever happens happens. You know, if I accidentally hit somebody, and it is what it is. Sometimes I fuck around and just
You
go
find
fuck
out.
everything up, you know. But like
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2, I was like just mostly a good guy when I would play.
I imagine you being a more of a kill everybody you see kind of guy. 56K, probably. Red Dead 2 story was so good. I'd never. I started playing Red Dead 2. I got to the point where you have your first camp or whatever, right? And you're like, hey, go out and hunt and bring some food back. Like, it's like
Oh my god, you haven't even gotten through the tutorial yet.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think I got like a little past that, right? But I did that, and then we're like, hey, go to town and blah blah blah, right? Then I was like, like you start fucking around, like, oh, I'm gonna start hunting some animals. Right? And they're like,
I mean,
you
did you
could
get
you
the
could only put
Valentine or not?
yeah, but like you could only put
Okay.
2 like skins on your thing. I'm like, fuck, like I want to like kill like every deer I see, and it's like stack up like 37 deer carcasses on my fucking horse. Like, no, this is more realistic. You can only put like 1 deer carcass.
I think it's 3 you can put plus a body. So you can stack 4 that way, and then you can tow one with your fucking rope. I think that's
Yeah,
the
but
way I did it.
it's like you could put like two birds, right? Like you put 2 quail and like
Yeah, I'm just saying, like strictly deer.
yeah, I'm like no, I want to kill everything. Fucking fucking everything I see, I want to shoot
I
and
don't know,
fucking.
man, but the fucking
I want to be arcadey. I don't. Not
the
everything has to
story
be
was so
simulation.
fucking good. Like, there's a lot of people that I never played I played 2 before I played 1, and to me, the voice actor that plays John, he he's nowhere near as good as the voice actor that plays Arthur. Like the actor himself. Um, and I feel like the first game was more of that classic Rockstar satire, whereas GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 is more of a theatrical, having satirical shit in it, but trying to be more of a fleshed out story. And I honestly wish they would make a movie out of Red Dead Redemption 2.
No spoilers. 56 cases hasn't finished Red Dead 2. Finbar says, didn't you say Red Dead Redemption 2 had you crying, Tony, or did you imagine? You imagined that, apparently, because it wasn't me. Like I said, I didn't get that far into it. And then here's what happened, right? So after I got a little bit into it, I kind of like was iffy on the game. And the next thing you know, Sidekick Max took my copy because I have it on physical. So he took it and he started playing it and he loves it. And then I just never got it back.
Oh
And
my god.
he's literally like 20 feet away from me in the next room, right? So it's not like he's like that far, like, but I'm so just disinterested in Red Dead 2 from the little bit I played that I was like, I never bothered to get it back from the other room.
As far as
I love part 1 though. Part 1 was great.
I think it would, if I had to choose like my favorite one, I think it would be Red Dead Redemption 2, man. But
Finbar
it's
said somebody said
basically
that. Not me though. I'm all man. Sure.
it's basically for me Red Dead 2, Breath of the Wild. I preferred Breath of the Wild over Tears of the Kingdom, to be honest. Ghost of Tsushima, GTA 5. Those are like my favorite 4 open world games.
I've only played part of one of those.
Tears of the Kingdom, it was kind of weird, man. Like, I don't know. It's probably just me. Probably everybody else loves it. But first of all, I didn't really care for the vehicle stuff. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, Banjo Kazooie did that whole thing. I never was into Banjo Kazooie, so I have no idea what they're talking about. But I didn't really care for that. I wish they would have just made different powers from, like, the last game. And I feel like they should have taken us to a different part of the world. even if they had to make new lore to have more of the world, I don't care. But just having the same exact map just felt so strange.
Yeah, I haven't played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, so I wouldn't know. 56K warning says I dropped Tears of the Kingdom and I put over 300 hours in Breath of the Wild just farming endgame. Tears of the Kingdom ruined by not having hardy durians.
Oh, dude, I can't believe they didn't have any hardy durians, dude. Like, you know how much time I put into Breath of the Wild? I have that game like mastered, which I'm sure 300 hours you do too. Like, why did they not have hardy durians, dude? It makes no sense. Just like because they knew that all the people that played Breath of the Wild like we did, we would just go find the hardy durians. Like,
Yeah. It's probably 100% accurate.
I assume you know about hardy durians.
No
Tony.
idea. I have no idea.
I mean, you just cook them and you know, you get a bunch of not only full health recovery, but you get a ton of yellow hearts, extra hearts. So it's like the most OP food in Breath of the Wild. You get a bunch of those and like you can go and form whatever
Voltron.
you want. All the Lionels.
Not Voltron. Yeah. No, like I said, I've never played Breath of the Wild. I really don't know anything about it. Before the Switch, the last Nintendo console that I owned was the SNES.
See, like I wish Breath of the Wild, I wish Nintendo would go more like they went a step closer to like, you know, more modern AAA open world games, you know, but they still stayed back in certain things like the cutscenes. They did theatrical cutscenes, but then Link still doesn't talk. I don't know if they just have this rule that they will not get a voice actor to play Link. What the deal is, but all the people going, "Moo, moo, moo." I can't stand that part of the. I can't stand that about the Zelda games.
It's not
Like
just
they
Zelda.
need.
A lot of RPGs do that too. Like they'll have a fully voice casted like cutscene, and then like right after it's over, you talk to them. They're like, meh, 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 meh. Like, what the hell's this? Like, stop making noises.
I blame Mike Tyson's Punch Out on it. Like, I think that's the original version of that shit. I don't know.
It's all about that money. Pretty soon, it should be done. Once they get this AI shit working, you won't have to worry about it. Everything will be fully voice acted, except for Link. Because, like Moon Soon, I agree. Link shouldn't be talking. They tried that before in the cartoon, and it didn't work out too well, did it?
Fuck that. I want him fucking talking. Screw that. They can get somebody, sign him to like a fucking 10-game deal or something.
The only way Link talks is if he says this line.
You get raped! Raped! Oh my god! Raped! Raped!
That's the only way. If Link says that, then 100% Link talks. Other than that, no.
Well, excuse me, princess.
The Nintendo is the rape console, so that's got to be Link's line to Ganon. You're gonna get raped.
If you want a game with rape, get a Switch.
Yeah. I did get a Switch, and there was no rape games. I was disappointed. I haven't touched it since. Huntdown had full voice acting. Did it? Never played that.
It's just so close to saying like, if you want to get raped, get a Switch. Like
it's like a signal to other people. Like, oh, he's got a rape. He's got a Switch.
You want your daughter to end up in a dark alley and get gangbanged, get a Switch.
We actually did that. There was at one point, you know, like how they had those drug PSAs where like little Billy, his parents used to never lock their liquor cabinet. Now he's addicted to like opioids or some shit, right? So we'd have like pictures of like some stripper on a pole. Like when she was young, her dad bought her a Nintendo Switch. Now she's a stripper by Rico.
This message has been approved by Tommy Tallarico.
Yeah. Back when things were fun, before everyone was threatening to dox each other and like throw down and like go meet behind gazebos and fight. That's actually a thing that I say that, and people are probably like, "Oh, what the hell?" No, really, someone actually was like, "Hey, go meet me behind the gazebo, and we could fight because you made fun of the Intellivision."
Wow.
I got threatened by 2 different people. Now that I think about it, 2 different Amico shills threatened to beat me up.
I had a few detractors on my channel, but I didn't have nearly the coverage you did, so it was only a couple of people.
I think I could take them. I think Retro Bro might be the only one that I would have trouble with. Like if we were like in a fight, Retro Bro might be able to win. But if it was like a boxing match or something, you know, like an actual like with rules type situation, nah, I'd take them all. There's not a single.
I wonder how tall Retro Bro is.
Oh, he's like
being
5'5". I seen him. I met him in real life. My son is taller than him. He says he's 5'8", but nah, he's closer to like 5'7".
$2D side scroller.
They're talking about Hunt Down.
I'm gonna go look that up. What is that?
Finbar says, "I'm surprised he didn't slander Xbox by saying it dispense crack. PlayStation, your kids." But they're not competing with those. Nintendo's the Disney, so that's why he had to slander Nintendo, because it was the market that he was going after, or at least the market he was pretending that he was going after, so that he can get money from people. Yeah.
Fucking Oppenheimer was 3 hours long, dude.
Damn. 3 hours to make one bomb? What kind of shit is that? I know a guy that could get that done in like 15 minutes.
So this is like Metal Slug Contra, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, Ted Kaczynski didn't take that long to make his bombs.
No, I'm talking about Hunt Down.
Oh, sure. All right. We've been here for 3 hours and 32 minutes. I think that's long enough. I think I've tortured Top Loaded here with my really bad jokes that are just not landing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
No.
see? There's another one. We'll get the time. We're gonna work on it. Don't worry. We'll
no,
tighten up this routine.
to be fair to Tony here, he's been supplying me with links, and I just have not fucking had the time to look at them. Like earlier, the guy was saying like Tony's giving, you know, top loaded boring topics or whatever. No, it's probably more that I didn't really have a chance to really dive into them like I should have. I didn't get to prep like I wanted to. So,
do you even fight Tony TGD, bro? I'm telling you, boxing match. I heard that phone call between Alpha Nerd and Canadian Gamer. I mean, if someone was willing to put up $5,000 for me to box, shit, I'd be right there.
not I. Somebody would just have to punch me in the chest, and I'm back in the hospital with another heart attack.
Finbar says, "Don't worry, we all do that. None of us ever prepared for this show." Exactly. You're just required to laugh at my stupid jokes and pretend like everything I say is brilliant. That's how this works.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
Bruh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I figured you would have catched on, but we'll get it. We'll get it. Anyway, I think it's time to put this one to bed. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching on the replay. Thank you for buying some merch, because I know every one of you's going to buy some merch as soon as the stream ends.
Yeah, get some merch.
I know a lot of you wanted to send super chats, but you know that I really don't want your money. You're like, hey, we don't want to make Tony an e-beggar. So I appreciate you guys not sending me money. Appreciate that. And again, as always, love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.